A boy simply fell asleep? But when he woke up, the whole world had changed. Even stranger, every person now had an egg floating beside them. But his egg was black, and on its shell, there was a countdown. The boy's name was Ethan Foster. From the moment he opened his eyes that day, he realized his world was no longer the same. He had no idea why a strange black egg had suddenly appeared right in front of him. For a moment, the whole thing was so bizarre that he wondered if he was still dreaming. But reality quickly proved otherwise, because every single person around him had an egg floating by their side. The only difference was that everyone else's egg looked normal, while his was completely black. What scared Ethan even more was the string of numbers on the black egg. It looked exactly like a countdown, with only 11 hours and 54 minutes left. In that dazed state, Ethan somehow made it to the Neo-Ecology Specialized Academy. As he stared at the sea of eggs around him, he couldn't focus on class at all. His friend Leo quickly noticed something was wrong and asked with concern, "Ethan, you've been out of it all day. What's going on?" Ethan probed cautiously. Leo, you seriously don't see anything in front of you?" Leo froze for a second. "What am I supposed to see?" "Dude, you've asked me that several times today. Are you okay?" Ethan immediately sat up straight and brushed it off. "Yeah, I'm fine." But inside he was already freaking out, because the countdown on the black egg had just over 5 hours left. He had no idea what would happen once it reached 0. At this point, all he could do was give up and accept it. Whether it ended in an explosion or some monster showing up, none of it was under his control. Now that he thought about it, having no family might not be the worst thing. At least he wouldn't have to say a final goodbye to anyone. For the time he had left, he might as well eat good and sleep soundly. When Leo saw Ethan suddenly acting like he had completely given up on life, he said in annoyance, "Ethan, you want to come with us tonight and get some fresh air near the barrier?" The moment Ethan heard that, he snapped back to attention. He asked in confusion, "Why are you guys going to the barrier?" Leo lowered his voice and explained, "Senior Tyler found a huge red egg. He secretly hid it somewhere near the barrier." Ethan was instantly stunned. "A huge red egg?" Leo leaned closer and said, "Yeah, we're meeting at Westside Park at 7 tonight. You coming?" Ethan immediately fell into thought. A red egg. Could it have something to do with his black egg? But it was already 4:30 in the afternoon. By 7 p.m. his countdown would only have about 3 hours left. He still had no idea what would happen when time ran out. If he dragged them into it, things could get ugly. Maybe it was better to just eat, sleep, and wait it out. With that in mind, Ethan answered, "Nah, I'll pass. You guys have fun." Leo froze. "Why? Come on, just come with us." Time quickly reached 7 p.m. By then, a group of students had already gathered at Westside Forest Park, and Ethan had been dragged there against his will. The guy in red standing at the front was Tyler, the one who organized the whole thing. Leo quickly stepped forward and introduced him. "This is Ethan Foster. He's in the same major as me. I thought it'd be more fun with more people, so I brought him along." Tyler nodded. "So he's another junior. Good. Since everyone's here, let's move out." But Ethan suddenly noticed something was off. For some reason, Tyler didn't have an egg beside him. Did that mean his egg had already hatched? Ethan couldn't be sure, so for now, he could only play it by ear. Before long, the group entered the radiation zone near the barrier. Leo knew the place probably wasn't dangerous, but it still gave him the creeps. After crossing the radiation zone, they soon arrived at their destination. The barrier had existed since the day Ethan was born. It was like a massive shell wrapping around their entire world. It was almost like they were living inside a giant round ball. For years, the barrier had been the main focus of scientific research, but no matter what people used against it, they could never break through, and it always repaired itself. There were rumors that someone had once crossed the barrier and reached the world outside, but that was only a legend. But what if the legend was true? What if there were people outside the barrier just like them? And what if those people were trying to get in? Right then, Leo asked curiously, "By the way, Tyler, where exactly did you hide that huge red egg?" But Tyler's expression suddenly changed, and a cold, sinister laugh slipped from his mouth. The next second, he lowered his head, and something horrifying burst out from his spine. 2 eerie tentacles emerged from his back, holding up a massive red egg. Tyler gave a chilling smile and said, "Take a good look. The egg is right here." Everyone there, Ethan included, stared in shock, with their mouths wide open. Before Ethan could even react, the other students started screaming in terror and ran for their lives. When Ethan saw Tyler walking toward him, he panicked. "What the hell are you trying to do?" Tyler sneered. "Didn't you want to see my red egg? Well, now I'm letting you see it up close." As soon as he finished speaking, the tentacles suddenly tossed the red egg into the air. After catching it again, Tyler smiled in that twisted way and said, This egg is a treasure. It gave me rebirth, and it let me see a completely different world. A chill ran down Ethan's spine. Listen, I'm not interested in whatever rebirth or vision nonsense you're talking about. I'm leaving. With that, Ethan turned around and ran, picking up his pace without looking back. But Tyler didn't move at all. He simply opened his mouth slightly and let out a terrifying laugh. Then, the two tentacles extending from his back suddenly stretched out, shooting forward like arrows. The monstrous hands moved insanely fast, opening wide in midair. Then they landed right around Ethan's waist and locked onto him tightly. The next second, the hands yanked backward with brutal force, instantly dragging Ethan back. In the blink of an eye, he was pulled right in front of Tyler. This time, Ethan truly panicked. Tyler stared at him with interest and asked in a low voice, "Tell me, why is my red egg reacting to you?" Ethan was completely confused. He had no idea what Tyler was talking about, but right then, the red egg suddenly opened its mouth, and several eerie eyeballs split open across its shell. Ethan only glanced at it once, and he was so shocked, he couldn't even speak. His mind was racing. Since when did that egg turn into this freakish thing? Wait, maybe the red egg wasn't reacting to him. Maybe it was reacting to the black egg above his head. The red egg opened its massive mouth, clearly trying to sparrow the black egg whole. But the black egg, which had been motionless the entire time, suddenly trembled and vanished right in front of Ethan. The next instant, it reappeared behind the red egg, like it had teleported. Just as the red egg tried to turn around, the black egg suddenly stretched out two strange tentacles. With sharp tearing sounds ripping through the air, the tentacles went berserk, piercing and shredding the red egg's body. In just the blink of an eye, that terrifying red egg was torn into more than a dozen pieces. Ethan froze on the spot. This black egg was way too ridiculous. Then the torn pieces of the red egg dropped to the ground, one after another. And Tyler, who had been acting so superior moments ago, collapsed to the ground like all the life had suddenly left his body. The sound of Tyler hitting the ground immediately caught Ethan's attention. Afraid this might actually turn into a death, Ethan quickly bent down and asked, "Senior, are you okay?" But Tyler didn't respond at all. Cold sweat poured down Ethan's back. Did he really just die along with that red egg? Meanwhile, inside the shattered pieces of the red egg, a tiny tentacle suddenly stretched out. On the tip of that little tentacle was a small, round object. After only a moment, the small, round thing dropped from the tentacle. The second it hit the ground, its surface cracked open, and a bizarre little creature crawled out from inside. As soon as the creature emerged, it looked straight at Tyler, who was lying on the ground. Then its body quickly curled into a ball before shooting forward at high speed. It moved so fast that it made no sound at all, slipping directly into the sole of Tyler's foot. The moment the creature entered his body, Tyler began convulsing violently. Seeing that Tyler was somehow still alive, Ethan quietly breathed a sigh of relief. But then Tyler suddenly stood up from the ground in an incredibly unnatural posture. The sight instantly sent a chill down Ethan's spine. Tyler violently tore open his own clothes. Strange claws grew from his hands, and a black object appeared on his chest. His whole body looked like it had completely lost consciousness. Ethan's mouth fell open in shock. What the hell? Is he okay now? Wait, was that thing on his chest a hole? Why did it look so much like a keyhole? As Tyler slowly walked toward him, Ethan started to panic. Right then, Tyler suddenly grinned and said, "The hunting game is about to begin." Ethan froze. Hunting game? What the hell does that mean? Can we not get one normal second here? Then he quickly looked up at the black egg above his head and saw that the countdown had only 1 hour and 54 minutes left. Ethan's face immediately fell. He complained inwardly, "There's barely any time left already, and now there's some hunting game too? I really just want to give up and ignore everything." But then, Tyler spoke again. "The egg beside thee is pitch black. Unlike us humans. It must be a variant, yes?" Ethan was even more confused. "A variant? What variant? Can you say something I can actually understand?" To his surprise, Tyler actually explained. "Human, thou must have noticed that the eggs around everyone else are white. They are food. We red eggs are red egg soldiers, and thy black egg is a variant." Ethan's face filled with shock. Red egg soldiers? Variant? I'm completely lost here. I don't know why mine is black either. Tyler immediately let out a proud, savage laugh. Variants can be captured or hunted, but I prefer hunting. As soon as he finished speaking, Tyler stomped hard against the ground and rushed in front of Ethan at a speed beyond human limits. Then, with a fanatical look on his face, he raised his claws and slashed straight at Ethan. The next second, several bloody cuts were torn across Ethan's body. Hit by that terrifying force, Ethan lost his balance and fell backward. He quickly looked up at the black egg and yelled, Why aren't you reacting? Aren't you going to help? You were insanely strong just now. Seeing this, Tyler immediately smiled. So that is what thou art counting on? Impossible. When we are in independent egg form, we cannot attack humans unless we fuse with one. After saying that, Tyler stopped wasting time and rushed toward Ethan again. This time, Ethan had no choice. He used every ounce of strength he had and barely dodged to the side. Tyler stared at the empty ground in surprise. Ethan didn't dare look back. He just ran for his life while complaining in his head. What is even happening? I'm not fusing with an egg just to turn into a freak like you. But Tyler was far too fast. In the blink of an eye, he caught up again. Then, he launched a flying kick and sent Ethan crashing to the ground. After taking such a brutal hit, Ethan once again slammed hard onto the floor. To stop Ethan from escaping again, Tyler actually sat right on top of him. Then he raised his cold, sharp claws and laughed viciously. Let me pierce through thy skull. This time, Ethan completely panicked. He truly felt like he was about to die. But just as the claws were about to come down, Tyler's hand suddenly froze in midair. At the same time, countless ripples spread across the surface of the black egg, and an invisible wave of energy burst outward. Tyler frowned in confusion. Strange, why can I no longer move? Ethan was confused too. He had no idea why Tyler had suddenly frozen in place. As the energy waves from the black egg continued spreading, Tyler's body slowly began leaning backward. Seeing his chance, Ethan immediately scrambled up and ran. He had no idea what was happening to Tyler, but in this situation, staying alive mattered more than anything. Running was the only correct choice. While Tyler couldn't move, Ethan rushed deeper into the forest. But the longer he ran, the stranger it felt. He had been running for more than half an hour, yet he still hadn't escaped the radiation zone. He didn't know whether he was lost, but he knew one thing for sure. He could not stop. What he didn't know was that nearby, a faint sound quietly came from one of the tree trunks. The person watching him wasn't Tyler, but a mysterious man hidden in the shadows, silently observing Ethan. Right then, the strange egg beside the man suddenly warned, "Master, that guy's egg is completely black," and it froze the worker egg in place. It should be the apocalypse egg. But the man calmly replied, "Let's observe first. Don't jump to conclusions." After running desperately for a while longer, Ethan suddenly noticed a cave up ahead. It was just the right place to hide for a bit. The long, high-intensity sprint had left Ethan gasping for air. After barely steadying his breathing, he quickly asked the black egg, "Right, that guy couldn't move earlier because you helped me, didn't you?" But the black egg gave no response, and the countdown on it had already dropped to only 3 minutes. Ethan completely lost it. How is there only 3 minutes left? That's impossible. There was still a lot of time before. No. If this thing explodes like a bomb, hiding in here just makes me even more dead. I need to get out of here right now. With that thought, Ethan didn't dare waste another second. He turned and tried to head for the cave entrance. But then he suddenly realized his whole body felt drained of strength. In the end, he simply gave up and sat down. If he was going to die anyway, it didn't really matter where it happened. As the countdown kept moving towards 0, Ethan's heart sank completely. In the final few seconds, he couldn't hold it in anymore, and shouted, "Damn it, just get it over with." He said that, but facing the unknown, he still couldn't stop himself from feeling afraid. A few seconds passed in a flash, and at that exact moment, the countdown finally reached 0. Ethan, thinking it was about to explode, instinctively shut his eyes tight. But after waiting for a moment and hearing nothing, he cautiously opened his eyes again. Then he saw several white markings appearing across the black egg, and something seemed to be breaking out from the top. Ethan was completely dumbfounded. He had no idea what he was supposed to do. The black egg kept making cracking sounds as a metallic object slowly rose from its top. When Ethan finally saw what it was, he was stunned. What the hell? Is that a key? Then the black egg slowly floated in front of him with the key. Ethan immediately understood. The black egg wanted him to take it. He still had no clue what was going on, but he reached out and grabbed the key anyway. Then, without any effort, he pulled it straight out of the black egg. The moment the key was removed, the countdown on the black egg changed again, resetting to 24 hours before starting a new countdown. Ethan stood up in shock. Again? What is going on? Why did the timer reset? Meanwhile, Tyler, whose body had been taken over by the creature, had already arrived outside the cave. He seemed to have confirmed that the black egg was inside. So without the slightest hesitation, he walked straight into the cave. The strange egg beside the mysterious man suddenly asked, "That worker egg is getting cocky." It went inside. "Should we follow?" The mysterious man nodded without hesitation. "Follow them, but don't let them notice us." With that, he silently leapt down from the tree. At that moment, Ethan was still trying to figure out why the countdown had reset and he had no idea Tyler had arrived. But the instant Tyler saw the black egg, he let out another smug, sinister laugh. Ethan was startled. "No way, how did you find me?" He felt a massive headache coming on. Things were already chaotic enough, and now this guy had shown up again. Was Tyler seriously determined to kill him no matter what? Ethan quickly looked up at the black egg. "Black egg, help me out again. If you get me out of this, I'll do my best to give you whatever you want." But the black egg still gave no response. It just floated blankly above his head. As Tyler kept closing in step by step, the black egg finally fluttered its little wings and pointed at the key in Ethan Foster's hand. Ethan immediately looked down at the key he was holding. Then, the black egg pointed with its other wing at the hole in Tyler's chest. Tyler thought the black egg was trying to attack him, so he slapped it away with brutal force and laughed. An egg in independent form wants to attack a fused human? What a delusion. Ethan finally understood what the black egg meant. "You want me to put the key into the keyhole in his chest, right?" When the black egg kept nodding, Ethan knew he had guessed correctly. Seeing that Ethan still seemed to want to fight back, Tyler sneered. "When didst thou get such a big key? Don't tell me thou plannest to attack me with that useless thing." But Ethan ignored his rambling and locked his eyes on the keyhole in Tyler's chest. The next second, Ethan didn't hesitate. He used all his strength and rushed straight toward Tyler. But to Tyler, this looked like a complete joke. Tyler only turned his body slightly and easily dodged the key. Then he suddenly launched a flying kick. Ethan was sent flying and slammed hard into the barrier. "Damn it," Ethan cursed inwardly. This guy was too fast. Getting close to him is almost impossible. Tyler laughed to himself. "I never expected a human like thee to be this stupid. Using such a heavy, clumsy thing to attack me? How could that possibly hurt me?" That was when Ethan realized Tyler had no idea about the keyhole on his own chest. Ethan felt like he still had a chance, so he simply placed the key on the ground. Then he took a fighting stance and shouted, "This crappy weapon is way too awkward. My fists work better. Come on, you trash soldier." The moment Tyler heard that, his expression changed. In a burst of rage, Tyler flashed forward, grabbed Ethan by the throat, and slammed him down toward the ground. Then he raised his hand and slapped Ethan hard across the face, roaring, "Who art thou calling trash?" Ethan immediately used that chance to grab the key from the ground and shouted, "Black egg, hit him with a rock." Hearing that, Tyler instinctively looked up toward the black egg, and that was exactly the moment Ethan had been waiting for. He raised his hand and drove the key straight into the hole. The instant the key entered, Tyler's body froze completely, unable to move. The mysterious young man hiding nearby saw this, and his expression darkened as he cursed under his breath. "This is bad." At the same time, a strange wave of energy suddenly erupted from the black hole. Then, that energy wrapped itself around Ethan. The next second, his entire body was pulled straight into the keyhole passage. Ethan felt as if he had fallen into a bottomless abyss. When he finally came back to his senses, the world in front of him had completely changed. All around him, strange round boulders floated in the air, and the entire place was filled with an eerie, unknowable atmosphere. Ethan couldn't help blurting out, "Where the hell am I now?" Right then, the mysterious young man suddenly rushed out from the side and warned him in a low voice. "Idiot, keep your voice down. Hide, now." Ethan didn't even have time to react. The next second, the young man grabbed him and dragged him into a run. Ethan didn't dare say a word. He followed the young man and hid behind a large rock. But just then, a cloaked figure in the distance suddenly spoke. "Tinos, did you hear something just now?" The strange hound-like creature beside him, which had only one eye on its face, immediately nodded. "Yes, my lord. I also heard a tiny sound, like an insect moving." Seeing this, Ethan was scared stiff. He quickly covered his mouth with his hand and didn't even dare breathe loudly. That person and that hound didn't just look strange. They were also massive. Ethan was stunned. Are those giants? What the hell is going on? Only after the giant left did Ethan finally let out a quiet breath of release. That was terrifying. Where is this place? Why did I suddenly end up here? Then he looked down at the key in his hand and guessed, "Wait, this key brought me here, didn't it, Black Egg?" Sensing Ethan's confusion, the Black Egg immediately nodded at him. Ethan completely broke down. "Oh my god. Why can't I just live a normal, peaceful life? Why do I have to get dragged into a place this creepy?" After snapping back to his senses, he finally noticed the mysterious young man who had just saved him. The young man was just as shocked as he looked at Ethan. He thought to himself, "This kid can actually space jump into the giant world? I remember that guy once brought me here too." My memories are very fragmented, but I still remember this place a little. If I'm not mistaken, this should be the giant synthesis ground. When Ethan was about to speak, The young man immediately cut him off in a low voice. I know you have a lot of questions. Save them for later. Right now, we need to get out of here. Ethan stopped asking questions and quickly followed the young man forward. But when he saw the round spheres floating in the sky, he couldn't help being drawn to them. He was extremely curious about what those spheres were, especially since there were so many of them scattered across the air. Right now, Ethan Foster didn't dare ask any more questions. He could only follow the young man and get out of danger first. But before they had gone far, the young man suddenly stretched out his arm, signaling for Ethan to stop. Above them, one of the massive round spheres suddenly split open with a circular tear, as if something inside was about to come out. Ethan noticed the strange change too, so he immediately softened his steps and followed closely behind the young man. He quickly realized that whatever was inside that sphere was about to emerge. The young man's face turned extremely serious. That jade human sphere is giving birth. The next second, the giant sphere made a loud splattering sound and violently sprayed out a massive object. A strange humanoid figure wrapped in mucus fell straight from the air. Then, with a loud crash, it slammed into the ground. Clearly, the thing was incredibly heavy. After hiding himself, Ethan's heart tightened. What the hell is that thing? The huge figure kept shaking mucus off its body. It had a massive fishtail, but its upper body looked human, and it had no facial features at all. It was terrifyingly unnatural, like a faceless fishman. The young man's pupils shrank. A synthesized beast man. Makes sense. This place is full of giants now, so there's no need to turn humans into giants anymore. But while the two of them were stunned by the fishman, a gigantic pupil had quietly appeared behind them. The one-eyed giant hound stared straight at them and let out an amused laugh. Found you. So it was two little bugs messing around in the breeding ground. Hearing the voice, Ethan instinctively turned around, but he didn't notice that a massive claw was already swinging toward him. At the critical moment, the young man quickly pushed Ethan's head down, barely helping him dodge the attack. Taking that chance, the young man stomped the ground and charged forward instead of retreating, rushing straight toward the one-eyed hound. As he leaped into the air, cyan flames suddenly ignited around his hands. Then he swung both hands down, and the two bursts of cyan fire exploded the moment they landed on the giant hound. Realizing the giant hound would not be easy to deal with, the young man quickly turned and shouted, "Take care of yourself." Ethan quickly nodded and replied, "Got it, thanks." He knew very well that staying here would only make him a burden, so he turned and ran without looking back. But as he ran, he couldn't help feeling ashamed of himself. Damn it. At a time like this, all I can do is run. I really am pathetic. But before he could get far, the giant chasing after him suddenly snapped his fingers. An invisible blast of energy shot out instantly and struck Ethan directly in the head. Blood splattered from his head and landed all over the black egg. Seeing its master collapse from the injury, the black egg anxiously looked toward him. And while Ethan's life or death was still uncertain, the black egg noticed that the giant had returned and was slowly walking toward them again. At that moment, the black egg seemed completely enraged. Its entire body trembled violently, and the blood on its shell began spreading rapidly. Meanwhile, Ethan's consciousness was already starting to fade. He felt like he might have died. It was as if he were falling into a pitch-black abyss, and deep inside, he was filled with unwillingness. Damn it. Is this really how my life ends? I still haven't found my real parents. I don't want to die yet. I want to be loved by my parents like everyone else. So at least let me know who they are before you take me away. At the same time, the shell of the black egg suddenly began to melt, and thick black liquid dripped all over Ethan's body. Seeing the black liquid rapidly cover and invade Ethan's body, the giant immediately tried to interrupt it, but then he realized he suddenly couldn't move. Is this egg thing doing this? My body is actually out of my control. In the blink of an eye, the black egg had turned into a white egg, while all of the black liquid had entered Ethan's body. Then Ethan's body began dissolving rapidly, turning straight into a puddle of black water. The giant was completely stunned. He melted? At that moment, Ethan's body had vanished, but the puddle of black water on the ground suddenly began to rise. Drops of black water shot upward and fused together in midair, gradually taking shape. In just a few moments, a human figure formed from black water began to appear. As the black water continued merging, a head of white hair came into view first. Then came strong limbs and a powerful, muscular body. His face was still Ethan's, but the aura he gave off was completely different now. Even the giant was shocked by the sight. What is that thing? This strange aura? No. This bug is extremely dangerous. I need to get away now. While the giant was thinking, Ethan had already walked to a spot not far from him. But right then, the mysterious young man was suddenly smashed to the ground by a giant fist. Ethan instantly sensed the change. He decisively gave up on the giant in front of him and rushed toward the mysterious young man instead. Then, he stomped the ground, launched himself in front of the giant hound, and started hammering its face with a brutal flurry of punches. The giant hound kept swinging its claws back at him, but it couldn't touch Ethan at all. After dodging several attacks, a burst of black light suddenly erupted from Ethan's foot. In an instant, the strength in his legs multiplied. The next second, he sent the giant hound flying with a single kick. After dealing with the hound, Ethan landed beside the mysterious young man. Then he slowly walked up to him and reached out his hand. The young man was already shocked to his core. This energy is still overflowing from him. Incredible. After coming back to his senses, the young man quickly got up and thanked him. But at that moment, the black hound also stood back up, and 3 pitch-black orbs appeared above its head. Between those black orbs, crackling arcs of electricity kept flashing. The sharp-eyed young man saw this, and his expression changed instantly. Not good. Run. But between the 3 black orbs, a beam of energy suddenly shot out. Then the giant hound let out a furious roar. Bastard, die. As the beam was about to hit them, Ethan Foster simply raised his right hand. The next second, under the giant hound's stunned gaze, he easily blocked the beam, then turned his head and let out a strange cracking sound. This left the young man and his strange egg completely stunned. Seeing that neither of them reacted, Ethan also looked confused, but his black egg flew in front of them and translated. He just said 1 person, 1 meal, no debts. Ethan instantly panicked and asked the black egg, "What's happening to me?" The black egg quickly explained, "Battle form causes advancement." The young man's strange egg seemed to understand. Wasn't he trying to say, 1 person, 1 time, no debts? Right then, the black egg suddenly urged him, "Stop zzing. Silver needlepoint used big glue." Ethan immediately understood what it meant. "You mean my ultimate move?" The black egg quickly replied, "Yes, this is not the time to mess around." Ethan froze for a second. "Is this how I use it?" "That's amazing. The steps for the move are actually appearing in my head." Seeing Ethan successfully unleash the move, the black egg immediately got excited. "Yes, this is called energy corrosion." Ethan couldn't help complaining inwardly. "Come on, it's energy corrosion." As energy surged from Ethan's hand, the beam fired by the giant hound was instantly corroded away. The moment that strange energy invaded the 3 black orbs, the giant hound suddenly let out a painful howl and crashed to the ground. After finishing the attack, Ethan finally waved his hand and ended the release of the move. That overwhelming display of power completely stunned the young man. But the energy around Ethan quickly began to disperse, and the black egg rapidly absorbed it back. In the blink of an eye, the black egg was once again dyed black by that energy. Ethan immediately understood that the black egg had already reached its limit. Not far away, the giant had begun to tremble. Both of these bugs had eggs beside them. Could these be ancient egg relics? Impossible. Even Lord Yagi couldn't revive an ancient egg. How could 2 bugs like them do it? I must be overthinking it. Right then, a voice transmission suddenly rang out from his body. "Everyone, Lord Yagui has already brought that important figure to the giant garden through the pain gate. Giants nearby, prepare to stand by for orders." Because of that, both the young man and Ethan noticed the giant not far away. The giant immediately pressed the button at his waist and secretly made up his mind. Perfect. So Lord Yagi is back. Offering these 2 to him should be a good choice. Fine. That's what I'll do. Then the ground around them began to shake. Ethan soon noticed a constant beeping sound coming from the giant's hand. Is that an alarm? Or is he sending a signal to his allies? As soon as he finished speaking, strange tentacles suddenly burst out of the ground. Then one massive beast, after another, shot up from underground. By the time the 2 of them reacted, they were already surrounded by those strange beasts. Ethan was instantly dumbfounded. What the hell are these things? There are way too many. The young man immediately activated his flames and said in a low voice, "Doesn't matter what they are. We break out together first." After saying that, the young man charged out first. He kept throwing flames at the beasts, turning himself into a walking harvester as he blasted through them like crazy. That powerful display left Ethan stunned. He's so strong. Honestly, it looks like he can handle this alone. He doesn't even need my help. Even so, Ethan quickly stepped forward, ready to lend a hand. Facing the attacks from the strange beasts, Ethan's movements became unbelievably agile, and he dodged every strike. He was secretly shocked. "This is amazing. I can dodge their attacks so easily. Are these beasts moving this slowly? Before long, Ethan rushed to the young man's side. The strange egg immediately said in surprise, "Master, has this kid always been this skilled?" The young man instantly saw through what was happening. His skills didn't improve. He's slowing down the attacks of these monster bugs. Now I'm 100% certain. That black egg is the apocalypse egg written about in the ancient texts. The strange egg immediately asked, "Then should we make a move?" Looking at Ethan's figure, the young man decisively replied, "No. We're in the giant world right now, and the situation keeps changing. This isn't the best time to take his ability." But the strange egg still tried to persuade him. "But master, if we take the black egg's ability sooner, we can leave this place sooner and save Miss Phil sooner." The young man firmly refused. "There's no need to rush. Focus on the situation in front of us." Meanwhile, Ethan proudly showed off to the black egg. "See, I can handle this easily too." But the black egg anxiously reminded him, "Ethan, hurry up. That giant baby will be able to move in 2 minutes." The moment Ethan heard that, his expression changed drastically. The black egg also reminded him, "Remember to get the key back. We need the key to return." When Ethan heard the word key, he froze. He had almost forgotten about it. Fortunately, he still remembered that the key had fallen near the giant. So he didn't dare waste any more time and immediately turned to run. Seeing Ethan suddenly turn back, the young man was confused. Where is that kid going? After leaving the battlefield, Ethan quickly found the key. But now, there was not much time left before the giant broke free. The instant Ethan picked up the key, the giant actually broke free ahead of time. Ethan didn't even have time to react. The giant's heavy fist smashed directly into his location, but inside the crater left by the giant fist, Ethan was nowhere to be seen. The giant cursed again. "What? Damn it. I finally managed to move, and now I'm frozen again?" It turned out that at the critical moment, the black egg had activated its ability again and lifted Ethan away. But by now, the black egg clearly had almost no strength left. After putting Ethan back on the ground, the black egg instantly fell from above his head. Ethan panicked completely. "Black egg, what's wrong? Can you hear me? Black egg, don't scare me." After regaining the ability to move, the giant immediately burst into laughter. "So it really was because of that thing that I kept getting frozen. Without that thing helping you. Let's see where you can run now." Ethan quickly held the black egg tight and bit down on the key, secretly making up his mind. "Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you." But right then the giant suddenly reached out and grabbed him, saying coldly, "Little bug, let's see where you can run now." At that moment, the giant hound that had been knocked down suddenly rushed over. Then, the instant it leapt up, it snatched Ethan away in its mouth. Now, it was the giant's turn to be stunned. "Tinos, wait. Tinos, what's wrong with you?" But Tinos completely ignored his roar and started sprinting wildly with Ethan in its mouth. Ethan was also full of confusion. "What's going on? Is it helping me?" Since Tinos had been hit by energy corrosion earlier, Ethan guessed that it might have already become one of his allies. Seeing Tinos sprint away with Ethan Foster in its mouth, Southeast immediately rushed after them. When Ethan saw him, he quickly shouted, "Get on, he's on our side." Southeast was shocked, but he didn't waste time asking questions. He kicked off the ground and leaped onto Tinos's back. And, just like that, Tinos carried Ethan in its mouth and took both of them forward at full speed. The giant chased after them while shouting non-stop, "Tinos, what's wrong with you? Come back." But after running for a while, the giant suddenly stopped. "Wait, if that little egg thing can control Tinos, then maybe I can use its power to take back the giant shell from the earthworm. Haha, perfect. This time, Lord Yagui will definitely reward me." Seeing that the giant was no longer chasing them, Ethan and Southeast both let out a breath of relief. Ethan quickly took the key out of his mouth and asked, "My name is Ethan Foster. What should I call you? Are you from this place?" Southeast immediately shook his head. "My name is Southeast. We came here together through a space jump. I was in the cave at the time, and when I noticed something strange with the worker egg, I followed it in." Hearing that, Ethan was stunned. "Space jump? Is that the black egg's ability?" The strange egg, beside Southeast, suddenly flew in front of Ethan and answered, "That's right, that is its ability." Ethan was about to say something else, but then he noticed the strange egg suddenly making a buzzing sound. Southeast's face immediately filled with anger. "Anzi, what are you doing?" Ethan was instantly confused and had no idea what to do. Right then, the black egg suddenly made a move and slapped Anji away. But Southeast reacted extremely fast. With a flash, he caught Anji firmly in his arms. Seeing that the black egg had reacted, Ethan immediately got excited. "Black egg, you're awake." Southeast quickly stepped on Tinos' head and returned to its back. Then he asked in a low, worried voice, Didn't I tell you not to act recklessly? Are you hurt? Anji replied timidly. Master, I'm fine. I'm sorry. Right then, Ethan suddenly cried out in surprise. Wait, is that the barrier up ahead? At the end of the path, a glowing barrier, exactly like the barrier had appeared. After reaching the barrier, Ethan and Southeast finally got down from Tinos. Ethan touched it for a moment, then said in shock, "It feels just like the barrier. This texture. Does that mean we're outside the barrier? Is our original world on the other side of this thing?" Then, Ethan noticed the black egg suddenly starting to tremble. He quickly asked in a low voice, "Hey, black egg, are you really okay?" The black egg immediately replied, "I'm fine. I activated my backup defensive energy earlier. I'm just tired and can't use my abilities for now." Ethan was startled. Defensive energy? That egg named Anji was trying to attack you? But the black egg shook its head. "I don't know. It activated on its own. But Ethan, we can't trust other people too much." Ethan immediately frowned. "I know that. After what happened back then, he had already stopped trusting others." Southeast noticed that Ethan had suddenly gone silent. So he spoke up. "How about we sort out the current situation first?" Ethan nodded. "Yeah, we definitely need to figure this out." So Southeast began analyzing carefully. "You said you inserted the key into the red egg soldier's keyhole, and then you came here. That makes sense. The black egg probably set it as the medium for a door. The fact that the red egg soldier didn't appear here is the best proof." Ethan was shocked. So in the end, it all comes back to this key. And black egg, tell me, where exactly is this place? Is this really outside the barrier? As soon as he finished speaking, the black egg immediately waved its little arms at him. Then it landed on the ground and started drawing. After a while, the black egg finally said, "Done. We are here." On the ground there was a drawing of a giant egg, with a few crude human figures marked on it. Ethan stared at it in disbelief, completely unable to understand. Are we inside another egg-shaped world right now? What the hell is wrong with this barrier? But Southeast shook his head. "No, we're not outside the barrier. We're still inside it." The black egg pointed at the figures on the ground and said, "Yep. According to the drawing, we're still inside the barrier. This is the place where we originally were." Ethan's expression changed instantly. "What? The place we originally lived in was only a tiny part of this egg-shaped world? How is that possible?" The black egg nodded. "This is Ethan. This is me. Then we came to our current location." Ethan immediately pointed at the huge outer area and asked, "Then what about this entire section?" After a moment of silence, the black egg answered, "That is the unmanifested hell." Ethan was stunned. This whole massive area is unmanifested? How big is this egg-shaped barrier? The place we live in is only this tiny section, and this doesn't even look like a sphere. The black egg explained, "That is a visual illusion caused by the human brain." Southeast understood at once. More accurately, the barrier makes us perceive it incorrectly, right? Ethan had never expected this to have anything to do with the barrier. Southeast nodded. "Sometimes what the eyes see isn't necessarily the truth." Ethan knew nothing about this, so he quickly asked, "What do you know about the barrier?" Southeast shook his head. "I only know that the barrier is a living being, and it has its own will." Ethan was even more confused. A living being? So we've been living inside a living creature this whole time? That's way too creepy. Southeast didn't know how to explain it either. "I think you should ask the black egg. It probably knows more than I do." But to Ethan's surprise, the black egg started shaking its head wildly. "I don't know. My memory begins from the moment I first met Ethan." Ethan immediately asked in confusion, "But you can draw the map. You have to know something, right?" But the black egg still shook its head. "As for the map, that's because I consumed singularities." Hearing another unfamiliar term, Ethan was stunned. "Singularities? What are those?" Southeast spoke from the side. "Singularities are places where time and space are distorted, right?" The black egg immediately pointed at two spots on the map. "Correct. We passed through two singularities earlier, and through them, two locations were connected. That's why we suddenly appeared here." After thinking for a moment, Ethan asked, "Then if we want to go back, do we have to pass through those two singularities?" But the black egg shook its head. "No, after I used those two singularities, they disappeared." Ethan had no idea what to do now. "Then how are we supposed to get back?" The black egg patiently explained. "Through the key, it remembers our starting location. As long as we find the synchronized door hole, we can return." Hearing that, Ethan immediately thought of the red egg soldier. "Door hole? Is it like the keyhole on the red egg soldier's body?" The black egg nodded simply. "Exactly. That one was generated in sync with this side." Ethan immediately voiced his guess. "Then where's the door hole on this side? Is it where we first arrived?" The black egg sounded a little helpless. "It should have been there, But when I consumed the singularities, we were disturbed by an unknown force. That force was probably trying to pull us somewhere else. Luckily, I copied the coordinates into the key ahead of time, but the door hole was intercepted by that force. Hearing this, Southeast couldn't help frowning. Don't tell me this was Yagui's doing. If it was, then we're in real trouble. Ethan Foster quickly crouched down and asked the black egg, where was the door hole intercepted to? Southeast suddenly pointed at the circle on the map and asked, Black egg, do you know where this circle is? But the black egg shook its head. It appeared together with the manifested area. I don't know either. Southeast immediately caught the key point. Wait, if it appeared together with the manifested area, does that mean we can find it in the giant world? The black egg answered very directly, yes, since it has appeared, it can be found here. The moment those words came out, Southeast and Anzi exchanged a shocked look. Seeing this, Ethan immediately thought to himself, Black egg, I'm sure they've been here before. The way he stayed calm through everything already felt off to me. To his surprise, the black egg told him to ask Southeast directly. Ethan could only reply helplessly in his mind, if he isn't saying it, that means he doesn't want to. No need to make things awkward. He probably knows a lot. If we can't find the key, he'll be our fallback plan, so we need to keep him close and make sure they don't leave our sight. Anji clearly noticed the change in Ethan's expression too, so it asked worriedly, Master, did we seem too eager just now? Southeast also realized that he had been a little too impatient. Yeah, maybe. For now, we shouldn't keep asking about the core information. Ethan suddenly asked the black egg, can't you narrow down the intercepted location a little more? But the black egg wasn't worried at all. Don't panic. We can actually use the key's shared vision function. Ethan was instantly surprised. This key can share vision too? The black egg flew right in front of him and explained, because the key and the door hole are connected. Whatever the door hole can see, the key can also see. After saying that, the black egg took the key from Ethan's hand. Then it motioned for Ethan to relax and close his eyes. Next, the black egg gently placed the key over Ethan's eye. A wave of energy instantly erupted from the key and surged toward his eye. Under the black egg's signal, Ethan slowly opened his eyes. The next second, countless halos of light appeared before him. Then an unfamiliar scene appeared in his vision. Ethan froze. So this is the door hole's point of view? Is that a city under a half-dome membrane? And hands? So the door hole really is attached to someone. If she's locked up, is she a prisoner being escorted? Then the one escorting her should be that woman. Judging from the way she sits so high and mighty, she must be the one who intercepted the door hole. But right then, that woman suddenly turned and looked toward the door hole. Then she let out a smile with an unreadable meaning. Immediately after, she waved her hand and a wave of energy shot out. Ethan's vision blurred, and the scene before him slowly began to disappear. Ethan was completely shocked. It got knocked down? Did she notice me? Seeing Ethan suddenly widen his eyes, the black egg asked in confusion, Ethan, what happened? Ethan said with lingering fear, the door hole was knocked down by a mysterious young woman. I'm guessing she's the one who intercepted the power. The black egg immediately explained, if the door hole is attached to a living creature, the pupils will change slightly during shared vision. Southeast asked carefully, since that woman was capable of intercepting the door hole, it's very possible she noticed you. Did you see the surroundings clearly? Ethan crouched down and started drawing on the ground. It was a city under a translucent white circular dome, roughly like this, and judging from the scream, the door hole should be a woman. Both of her hands were tightly locked. Anzi immediately began analyzing. If she was locked up, then the door hole's identity could be a prisoner or some kind of escorted object. Southeast asked again, any other information? Ethan nodded, then pointed at the drawing he had just made. The woman who intercepted the door hole was dressed completely in white. She looked young. There were two people beside her too. They were inside a cave, looking toward the half-dome city ahead. Southeast immediately frowned. Did you see the faces of the other two? What were they wearing? Ethan thought for a moment and replied, those two were clearly much bigger than the woman in white. They were wearing hooded cloaks. I didn't see their faces, so I don't know if they were giants. Right then, the black egg suddenly interrupted. Oh right, Ethan, I forgot to mention. The countdown number is actually the key's remaining existence time. Ethan instantly froze. Remaining existence time? What does that mean? The black egg pointed at the countdown on its body and explained, it means once the timer reaches 0, the key will disappear. Hearing this, Ethan's expression changed instantly. But right then, Southeast suddenly warned in a low voice, don't talk, something's moving. Ethan didn't dare ask more and quickly followed Southeast, ready to leave. In the cracks of the surrounding walls, a pair of eyes was staring closely at them. Southeast's face became extremely tense. We need to get out of here fast. But the moment he finished speaking, his expression suddenly changed. Someone had appeared behind Ethan without anyone noticing. Southeast immediately shouted, "Ethan, behind you." Before Ethan could react, the green-haired woman had already grabbed him tightly. Then, with an extremely twisted posture, she forcefully dragged Ethan away. Ethan was completely confused. What's wrapped around my stomach? Vines? I can't pull them off at all. Even the black egg was tightly wrapped up and dragged away with him. The green-haired woman's binding was incredibly strong, and Ethan had no strength to resist. Soon both Ethan and the egg were dragged to a nearby crack in the rocks. The person who had been hiding in the rock crack finally let out a satisfied laugh. Seeing that there was more than one enemy, Southeast's pupils suddenly shrank. The tall figure slowly walked out from the crack. It was a white-haired man with bulging muscles all over his body and a pair of massive gloves on his hands. Seeing that this newcomer was clearly difficult to deal with, Southeast quickly began activating his flames. But the white-haired man didn't even glance at him. After grabbing the black egg, he looked at Ethan and chuckled. "Lend me this black ancient egg relic. In exchange, I can tell you where that city is." Ethan was secretly shocked. Ancient egg relic? Why is he calling the black egg that? Realizing that their target was the black egg, Southeast immediately asked, "When did you start following us?" The green-haired woman laughed. "Since you were playing hide and seek with Tinos and the others at the breeding ground? But wow, you two are really slow. It took you this long to notice us." Southeast never expected that they had already been watched shortly after entering this other world. But the white-haired man impatiently urged them. "You're annoying. I'm asking what your answer is." Southeast immediately snapped. "What answer? You grab someone first, and this is how you ask for help?" The green-haired woman laughed. "Ask? Do we need to ask you? Don't push your luck." Dai gave a cold smile. "So you mean negotiations have broken down? Then you don't mind if I kill this masked guy, do you? Master of the ancient egg relic?" Before Ethan could speak, Dai suddenly shot forward and appeared in front of Southeast in the blink of an eye. But Southeast realized that D had passed straight through his body, and Southeast was completely unharmed, unable to understand what the other man was trying to do. Then D began charging through Southeast again and again, but none of the attacks hurt him at all. Southeast was completely confused. What's going on? Why does he keep passing through my body? But then, to his shock, he realized that those illusions had actually injured him. Southeast cursed inwardly. Damn it, this time it was a real attack. He's using clones to mess with my vision, then striking with his real body. Now that I understand your trick, it's my turn to fight back. But right then, a figure suddenly appeared behind Southeast. Then the figure let out a low, murmuring laugh. "Ha ha ha. So the thing you fear the most is yourself without a mask." When Southeast saw that the figure in front of him looked exactly like him, he instantly hurled out 2 balls of flame and shouted, "Bastard. You dared to look into my mind." But Dai only sneered. "That's hilarious. This is the first time I've seen someone afraid of his own unmasked face. What the hell is that?" Seeing Southeast continuously throw out explosive flames, the green-haired woman said in surprise, "So this guy creates explosions by compressing air?" Ethan saw what was happening and quickly warned Southeast, "Don't be fooled. This guy hasn't moved a single step." Hearing this, Southeast looked at Ethan in shock, and finally realized that Dai had been standing beside him the entire time. But D asked back, "If it's just an illusion, then how did I land every punch for real?" Ethan was instantly shocked. "You're creating both real and fake clones at the same time?" The green-haired woman laughed. "Your eyesight sucks. It's been one-on-one the whole time, okay? To deal with him, D only needs 1 clone." Dai suddenly said, "My ability? I can freely swap my real body and my clone. I can swap the whole body or just certain parts." Ethan was instantly shocked. Swapping the whole body or just certain parts? No wonder he keeps switching between real and fake. But why is he telling me his ability? D seemed to see through Ethan's confusion and turned his head calmly. "This is my sincerity." Ethan was even more confused now. Sincerity? This guy really says whatever he wants. But telling someone else his ability does show that he really wants the Black Egg's help. Right then, D suddenly grinned. "See? He's already been captured." Sure enough, after only a brief exchange, Southeast had already been firmly restrained. D suddenly asked Ethan, "Are you 2 partners? Because from what I've seen along the way, he seems to have another motive for sticking with you." Ethan Foster was stunned for a moment. Partners? Not exactly. They had only just met. He still didn't know why Southeast had approached him, but helping Southeast was also a way of leaving himself a backup plan. It wasn't exactly pure kindness either. So they were using each other? Whatever. Why overthink it, right, Black Egg? The Black Egg quickly replied, "My life also depends on Ethan, so that counts as using each other too." I'll follow your decision. Seeing how much the black egg trusted him, Ethan immediately said, "Die, let's negotiate properly." D immediately gestured and said, "Menino, let him go." After Ethan was released, he decisively stated his demands. "I want you to let Southeast go, and I want you to personally take us to that city. Those are my 2 conditions." Hearing this, D immediately showed an interested expression. Menino instantly snapped. "You dare negotiate terms with us, and you want him to personally escort you?" But Ethan didn't care. He's the one who brought up negotiation. "So tell me, what exactly does negotiation mean?" The moment he said that, D burst into laughter. "You've got guts." The black egg was starting to panic. "Ethan, what if he doesn't agree?" Ethan stayed calm. "He's strong. If he escorts us, even just scaring people off would be useful. And since he needs your help, as long as our demands aren't too much, there's a good chance he'll agree. So even if we're pretending, we have to look firm." Seeing Ethan's determined expression, D couldn't help muttering inwardly. That look in his eyes, is he that sure I'll agree? Then, D nodded. "I agree. But that depends on whether it can complete the task I give it." The black egg immediately asked, "What exactly do you want me to do?" D suddenly grinned. "Simple. Help me control the giant shell." Ethan subconsciously asked, "The giant shell? What's that?" But Dai didn't explain. Instead, he released the black egg. "Let's talk while we move." After catching the black egg, Ethan immediately asked, "Can't you remove whatever is restraining it?" D shook his head. "Just insurance. Let's move." Ethan was unhappy about it, but he didn't say anything more. Seeing that Southeast had been released, Ethan quickly turned to him and asked with concern, "Southeast, are you okay?" But Southeast said angrily, "I'm fine, don't help me." Ethan quickly explained, "I agreed to help him, so for now, we have to get along with them peacefully." Southeast gritted his teeth. Get along peacefully with that guy? That is absolutely impossible. Seeing that Southeast was still furious, Ethan decided not to provoke him any further for now. When he saw D preparing to lead them away on foot, Ethan asked in confusion, "Wouldn't riding the giant beast be faster?" But Dai shook his head. "We don't need that thing." Ethan suddenly asked the black egg, "Right, black egg, how much longer can you control that giant beast?" After thinking for a moment, the black egg answered, "Less than half an hour." Ethan figured half an hour should be enough, so he ordered the giant beast to start sprinting. He gave Tinos one command, "Run around as wildly as possible, and get as far away from here as you can." Seeing this, D couldn't help praising inwardly, "This kid actually has a brain." As they walked, Ethan asked Menino curiously, "You said that faceless fishman was your companion. Was he originally human?" Menino nodded. "Yes. By the time we went to save him, it was already too late. He had been sent into the breeding sphere ahead of time. That was all that bastard Panluo was doing. He wanted to lure D out. Damn it, I'll tear that one-eyed freak into pieces sooner or later." Ethan finally understood. So they had been trying to save their companion, and that was how they discovered his group. After walking for a while, D suddenly patted the stone wall beside him. Suddenly, a passage appeared inside the stone cave. At first, Ethan thought it was just an ordinary passage, but he quickly realized something was wrong, because there were no stairs inside. Right then, D suddenly pressed his hand against Ethan's head. Then he shoved him straight into the pitch-black passage. When the black egg saw its master falling, it quickly flew out of D's palm and chased after Ethan. But D only smiled. Then, without paying Southeast any more attention, he also jumped into the passage. Menino saw Southeast suddenly looking at her, so she took out a small cocoon and said, "Don't look at me, do it yourself. Take this." Southeast took the cocoon and immediately frowned. Meanwhile, 2 wings as thin as cicada wings suddenly extended from the back of D's neck. Menino reminded him again, "Just stick it to your skin. I recommend the back of your neck or your back. I'll cover the rear, so hurry up." At that moment, Ethan was still falling downward. Suddenly, he felt an itch on the back of his neck. While he was still confused, D had already caught up to him, and he grabbed the struggling black egg with one hand. Then Dai grinned and said, "Don't use your head like an idiot. Control the butterfly wings on the back of your neck." Ethan immediately snapped back, "You're the idiot. You shoved me down out of nowhere, then started telling me to control some butterfly wings out of nowhere." But D suddenly sped up. Then he left only one sentence behind. "The passage is almost at the bottom. Good luck." Ethan was so angry, he gritted his teeth. "This bastard. Is this how he treats someone he's asking for help?" He said, "To control the thing on the back of my neck with my head. What does that even mean? Wait, we really are almost at the bottom." Ethan shouted anxiously in his mind, "Come on, come on. Open the wings already. The black egg was also extremely nervous, struggling constantly as it tried to break free from Dee's control. At the last possible moment, the cocoon on the back of Ethan's neck suddenly split open. A pair of pitch-black butterfly wings burst out of it and slammed hard against the ground. The force of the wings striking the ground was terrifyingly powerful. The huge rebound instantly launched Ethan's entire body back upward. That scene immediately caught Dee's attention. Even he couldn't help feeling shocked. Butterfly wings are thin and soft by nature. They're only tools for flight. They shouldn't have any real strength. Then what are those cracks on the ground? Did this kid change the properties of the butterfly wings? If that's the case, his ability is actually pretty interesting. Right then, Southeast suddenly flew down. Ethan, are you okay? That guy likes playing dirty, so be careful. Ethan immediately replied, I'm fine. The butterfly wings finally opened at the last second. Hearing this, Dee instantly sneered. Playing dirty? Same to you. Weren't you also trying to test his ability? Otherwise, Tinos was so weak, so why did it get pinned to the ground after only a few exchanges? When Anji was about to speak, Southeast snapped, Anji, don't. There's no communicating with someone like him. Dee immediately laughed. A defeated loser thinks he's worthy of talking to me? Save it. Seeing the two of them argue so bitterly, Ethan couldn't help complaining inwardly. I'm the actual victim of both of your schemes, and I haven't even said anything. Yet you two are already fighting each other. Anzi suddenly asked in a low voice, Master, what's wrong? This isn't like you at all. Southeast's face looked ugly. Sorry. Ever since that guy looked into my mind, I've been extremely irritated. Don't worry, I'll calm myself down. As the scenery before them changed, Ethan suddenly cried out in surprise. Where is this place? Everything looks completely different. Dai explained without looking back. This is one of the ancient egg ruins, the Black Tree Cavern. Ethan immediately asked curiously, the Black Tree Cavern, an ancient egg ruin, right? Earlier you called the black egg an ancient egg relic. Why do you call it that? Dai answered very directly. 100 years ago, this place was just like yours. Everyone had an egg beside them. But later, someone brought a certain disaster back from the forbidden land of the egg-shaped world, which caused the eggs to disappear. In the end, this place became the mess you see now. Ethan was instantly shocked. Forbidden land? Disappeared? So does that mean people here no longer have eggs beside them? Dee nodded. Right. They're almost extinct now, which is why they're called ancient egg relics. But the ancient egg relic known as the giant shell is an exception. Ethan was confused. That's the giant shell you want the black egg to control? What exactly are you trying to do? Dai's tone immediately became serious. Exactly. I want it to control the giant shell and find the poisonous flower of the poppy. Ethan became even more curious. The poisonous flower of the poppy? What's that? Seeing Dee fall silent, Menino suddenly said, it's the cure for gigantification. With it, Dee's hand and his mother can. Ethan immediately muttered inwardly. His hand and his mother were both giantified. No wonder he wears those huge gloves. After flying with Dee for a while, he suddenly turned around and reminded them, listen, Ethan Foster, you don't need to worry about anything else. Just help me find the poisonous flower of the poppy. Ethan immediately nodded. Right. You said someone brought a disaster back from the forbidden land of the egg-shaped world. Did you already know this world was egg-shaped? Dee's expression turned serious. Yes, I learned it from my mother. She called this egg-shaped world the Egg of Life. Hearing this, Ethan grew even more curious. The Egg of Life? What exactly is this egg-shaped world? But Dai didn't know either, and whenever the topic went deeper, he refused to say more. Ethan was curious, but for now, he couldn't get any more information. Anji suddenly asked Southeast, Master, is the forbidden land he mentioned the circular core area? Southeast immediately nodded. It should be. Yagi and the others have been searching for that core area, but they never found any information. I never expected it to appear on the Black Egg's map. If Yagui and the others find out, the Black Egg and Ethan will probably become their targets. While Southeast was thinking, Ethan suddenly said, Dee, to be honest, we have less than 21 hours left, so we need to find that city as soon as possible. Dee immediately signaled for Ethan Foster to relax. I know the fastest route to get there. And the thing I'm asking for won't take too long. Follow me down. We're here. After that, Ethan followed Dee down to the ground. But he was still amazed. These butterfly wings are incredible. I just give them a command, and they retract on their own. By the way, what are these wrapped up things around us? Menino seemed to see what Ethan was thinking and explained, those are guardian cocoons. If Dee and I weren't here, you'd probably already be their food. Hearing that, Ethan was instantly stunned. What the hell? So, there are living man-eating monsters inside these cocoons? They don't look that special, but that actually makes them even creepier. After that, no one said much. Following Dee's lead, They soon arrived at their destination. Ethan immediately saw a massive deep blue egg bound tightly by several chains. He was instantly shocked. So this is the giant shell? It's way bigger than the black egg and the others. But D shook his head, then chopped at the giant shell with a hand blade. The deep blue shell instantly split open, revealing its true form inside. D spoke again. Kid, see what's inside? That's the real body. Ethan quickly focused his eyes and indeed saw a strange green egg. It was about the same size as the black egg, but the glowing green patterns on its body made it feel extremely dangerous. Right then, Menino walked over and said, "Seriously, it's been less than a day, and it's already formed this many layers of shell." Ethan immediately asked curiously, "So how exactly does it turn people into giants?" Menino pointed at the pink layer of shell and said, "The third layer is the one mainly responsible for gigantication. Did you notice the huge spheres floating over the jade human ground?" Ethan immediately nodded again and again. "I get it. They use its shell to make those spheres, then use the spheres to turn people into giants." Menino's tone instantly became angry. "Exactly. This giant core used that method to turn this world into the mess it is now, all to achieve their domination." Just as Ethan was about to ask more questions, Dai suddenly stepped forward. Then he directly reached out and grabbed the giant shell. He forcefully pulled it out and said angrily, "The very existence of this thing is a disaster." The giant shell immediately snapped back. "Brat, you're hurting your uncle here." D became even angrier. "Uncle my ass." The giant shell refused to back down. "You dare talk to your uncle like that, and still want to find the silver flower of the poisonous tree? Not happening." D didn't bother wasting more words, and directly signaled for Ethan to have the black egg control it. When the giant shell saw the black egg, it was instantly shocked. "Besides your uncle here, there's actually another surviving egg? Absurd. There's still lethal egg honey in the air. If your uncle hadn't built a protective shell here, I would have been dead long ago." Hearing this, Ethan couldn't help feeling nervous. "What's lethal egg honey? Can someone explain?" D explained, "It's the disaster I mentioned before, the one brought back from the Forbidden Zone. This egg honey is extremely tempting to eggs, but once they consume it, it becomes a deadly poison. Later on, the egg honey seemed to adapt to this environment and evolved into a microbial form. It kept reproducing in the air, eventually causing the mass death of eggs." Ethan immediately looked at the black egg with concern. "Black egg? Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere?" But the black egg shook its head. "No. I actually feel more comfortable here." The moment it said that, D and Menino's expressions became strange, but as long as the black egg was fine, that was what mattered most. Then Ethan turned and asked, "Southeast, what about your Anshi?" Southeast's expression became strange. "It's fine." Hearing this, Ethan said, "Then maybe it's just a difference between worlds." But Southeast knew that was not the truth. The first time Anji came to the giant world, it had nearly died from poisoning. Southeast was deeply shocked. The black egg can survive freely in lethal egg honey. Is it because it has immunity? Or is it because, like the egg honey, it comes from the core area, so it isn't affected by the disaster that came from there? The mysteries surrounding it really keep piling up. Menino asked curiously, "Does everyone in your world really have an egg?" Ethan immediately nodded. "Yes, everyone does." But D suddenly cut in. "Stop being curious about everything. Black egg, hurry up and control the giant shell." The black egg stammered, "We need to wait a little longer. Ethan used up a lot of energy in the previous fight, so if I want to use energy corrosion again, I still need some time." Hearing that, D immediately frowned. "When can you do it? Give me a specific time." The black egg answered right away. "The egg honey here is nourishing my body, so I should recover faster than expected. 15 minutes should be enough." The giant shell immediately lost its composure. "Liar, don't lie to your uncle here. How could egg honey possibly nourish you?" But the black egg replied helplessly, "I'm not lying." Right then, a figure suddenly rushed in and shouted, "D Xuan has awakened." D was instantly shocked. "Really? My mother woke up?" Then, Dai casually threw the giant shell back and gestured, "Menino, lock it back up." Then Dai hurried away, completely ignoring Ethan Foster and Southeast. Seeing this, Ethan quickly turned and said, "Let's follow him." As they walked, Ethan became more and more surprised. There were so many branching tunnels here that getting lost would be easy if they didn't keep up. Where did all these tunnels even lead? Before long, Ethan noticed that the scenery ahead had suddenly changed. At the end of the tunnel, there was actually a massive ancient ruin gate. Ethan was secretly shocked. D had said before that this place was one of the ancient egg ruins, the Black Tree Cavern, so this should be the center of the ruins. As soon as he entered the ruin, he was drawn to the murals inside. On the mural was a giant holding a massive egg in his hands. But the more Ethan looked, the stranger it felt. The thing in that figure's hands should be an egg, right? And those tiny dots lined up to enter the egg. Are they people? That's creepy. Wait, could this be a miniature depiction of their egg-shaped world? Then are those tiny dots supposed to be them? No way. Southeast, who was walking at the back, immediately noticed the change in Ethan's expression. Anzi also whispered, "Master, didn't we hear before that as long as they find the spirit number, Yagui can find the true exit of the Egg of Life? Looking at this mural now, could the location shown on it be the real direction of the exit?" But Southeast analyzed calmly. Anzi, since this is an ancient egg ruin, that means this place was probably used to worship eggs. If it really showed the location of the exit should have been found long ago. Anji suddenly sighed. Rather than finding the exit, I'd rather find a way to stop that guy from controlling you, Master. Seeing Southeast remain silent, Anji spoke again. Master, we should absorb the Black Egg's ability as soon as possible. Right now, I still can't use my abilities to help you. But Southeast directly refused. I know you're worried about me, but I'm really fine. That guy modified you, took you hostage, and also took Phil hostage. He threatened us into helping him find the Apocalypse Egg and absorb its ability. But I don't think that's his real plan. His true goal is to use us to get close to Ethan and the Black Egg, then guide them into finding the true exit of the Egg of Life. So, his real objective is to go outside the barrier and leave the strange egg-shaped world. After hearing Southeast's analysis, Anzi felt that it made sense. Then what should we do? Should we still absorb it? Right then, Dee suddenly arrived in front of a room and rushed straight inside. As soon as Ethan entered the room, he saw a woman lying on the bed. Her body was still normal in size, but both of her feet had already been giantified. This woman was Dee's mother, Xuan. When Dee saw Xuan, his face immediately filled with concern. "You're finally awake. Do you know how long you were asleep? How does your body feel now? Do your feet still hurt and swell?" Xuan shook her head and comforted him. "I'm fine. They don't hurt much anymore." Dai couldn't wait to say, "Mother, you won't have to suffer this pain much longer. We'll find the silver flower of the poisonous tree soon." Hearing this, Xuan couldn't help showing a look of shock. Then she looked at Ethan and Southeast and asked, "Who are these two?" Ethan quickly stepped forward and greeted her politely. "Hello, ma'am." Seeing the shocked look on his mother's face, Dee immediately smiled. "You're surprised, aren't you, mother?" Then he suddenly reached out and grabbed the black egg. He brought the black egg in front of Xuan and said, "This is it. This surviving egg can help us find the silver flower of the poisonous tree." At that moment, a storm had already risen in Xuan's heart. Memories from the past instantly flooded back. It turned out that before her husband died, he had once told her, "When the pitch black egg arrives, your end will be near. When that time comes, you must avoid it. No matter what, you must avoid it." Xuan couldn't help sighing inwardly. "Ah, Xuan, what was meant to come has still come. There's no avoiding it." But she quickly calmed herself down. Although Ah Chuan's predictions were accurate, in many cases, the predicted scenes were not necessarily connected by cause and effect. In other words, the reason she would die might not have anything to do with the black egg. It might simply be that fragmented visions happened to appear together. Seeing Xuan remain silent, Dee quickly asked, "Mother, what's wrong?" Xuan, pulled out of her thoughts, quickly shook her head. "Nothing. You said this black surviving egg can help find the silver flower of the poisonous tree, right? But most of the silver flowers have already been destroyed by the giants, and the silver flower can also run away." Ethan was stunned. "It can run away? Isn't the silver flower a tree?" Xuan nodded. "Yes, but it's different from ordinary trees. When it senses danger, it runs. Capturing it won't be easy." Dee signaled for Ethan not to worry. "I have my own way to lure it out. The giant shell can secrete a special substance called egg coagulation paste, and it can attract the silver flower." Ethan immediately understood. "So you want the black egg to control the giant shell and make it secrete that paste? But the giant world is huge. Even if the paste is released, the silver flower might not smell it, right?" Clearly, Dai had already prepared for this. "We've already found several possible hiding places for the silver flower." After learning about the black egg's ability, Xuan was secretly surprised. So this little one has a control ability. Maybe it really can help Dee remove the poison of gigantification. When Dee was little, he was extremely clingy. She never expected him to become so capable now. Although she might not be able to watch the rest of his growth, the most important thing right now was ensuring his safety. For the past decade, they had been hiding to avoid Yagi's pursuit. If it weren't for the ancient sphere Ah Chuan left behind to protect mother and son, they would have been captured long ago. Before her death arrived, she had to hand the ancient sphere to Dee. But that thing eroded human nature. Without powerful mental strength, it was extremely hard to control. Now her own body was already suffering the backlash. Could Dee really withstand it? And right now, finding the cure to restore Dee's hand was naturally a good thing. But what if these people had bad intentions? Or what if they were Yagi's subordinates? Right then, the black egg suddenly sent a message to Xuan. You really are afraid of me. Is it because I'm ugly? Xuan was instantly stunned. Little black egg, are you speaking to me? The black egg immediately nodded. Yes, something on you was forcefully trying to establish a connection with me just now. Xuan was completely shocked. Something? Is it the ancient sphere? The black egg answered directly. It's called the ancient sphere, yes. It seemed to detect your emotional fluctuation and then established a connection with me. The moment you answered me, we officially established mental communication. Are you scared? Don't be. I may be dark and black, but I'm not a bad guy. Hearing this, Xuan's expression instantly became complicated. Then she suddenly reached out and pulled the black egg into her arms. I'm sorry. Through the ancient sphere, I felt your true emotions. It has been so long since I felt something this warm and comforting, like a gentle current entering my heart. Little black egg, please help Dai remove the poison of gigantification. The black egg immediately said firmly, please don't worry. Since Ethan already agreed to Dee's request, you don't need to beg us. We'll do our best. Xuan's uneasy heart finally settled. Thank you, little black egg. Next, I want to speak with you two alone, about certain things. Secrets about this egg-shaped world that my husband knew when he was Yagui. Before long, Menino asked curiously, why are you all outside? Didn't Xuan wake up? Dee's face darkened as he replied, Mother wants to talk to that kid alone. Hearing his tone, Menino couldn't help muttering inwardly. With that voice and that expression, he's probably about to explode from anger. She very wisely said she still had something to do and turned to leave. But Dee suddenly called out to her, Menino, spar with me. Menino had no interest in getting beaten up, so she immediately ran. Dee, wanting to vent his anger, turned to Southeast and provoked him. Hey, defeated loser over there. Didn't you say you wanted another fight? Want to go now? Southeast, who had long found Dai unbearable, agreed without hesitation. Not long after, Ethan walked out of the room with a complicated expression. So Yagi was one of the first humans thrown into this egg-shaped world. And behind them was a mysterious him pulling the strings. Was that him using the egg of life to raise food? Were they the food? Right. It was the eggs. Ethan remembered that the red egg soldier had once said white eggs were ingredients. So that was what it meant. Right then, Ethan suddenly saw Dee and Southeast walking back together. But he noticed that Southeast's face looked even more swollen than before. Southeast stubbornly said, no, you're seeing things. Anyway, what's that pouch on your chest? Ethan explained, Auntie Xuan gave it to me to hold the key. Right, Dee, don't leave yet. Auntie Xuan said she wants you to go back in. But Dee immediately turned away and refused. No need, it's time for us to leave. Ethan stopped him. Don't go yet. Auntie Xuan has something important to tell you. Dee became irritated. Didn't she already tell the important stuff to you, an outsider? What else is there to say? Ethan immediately realized this guy was throwing a tantrum. He couldn't help sighing inwardly. Auntie Xuan asked them to talk alone because she was worried about this idiot. Seeing Ethan stay silent, Dee mocked him. Why don't you just become her son? After all, I'm the actual son, but apparently, I'm the outsider. Hearing this, Ethan immediately clutched his fists. He finally couldn't hold back anymore. I'm talking about you, dumbass. Why are you throwing a tantrum like a spoiled brat? You think having a mother who loves you makes you special? Dee instantly snapped. You idiot, you dare call me a spoiled brat? You want to die? But to his surprise, Ethan directly slapped his hand away. Dee was instantly shocked. What's with this kid? He pushed my hand away that easily, and the energy leaking from his hand is more than twice as strong as what he transformed. Did his emotional fluctuation amplify this energy? Seeing that Dee had finally stopped, Ethan shouted coldly. A guy who only makes his mother worry and cry for him. If that's not a spoiled brat, then what is? Dee immediately laughed. I make my mother worry? I'm this strong. Are you blind? My mother is the strongest person I know. She never cries in front of anyone. What nonsense are you talking about? But Ethan sneered. Really? If you want to know whether she cried or not, why don't you go inside and see for yourself? Hearing this, Dee didn't have time to think anymore. He immediately turned and entered the room. The black egg quickly asked Ethan Foster, what was that energy you released just now? Ethan didn't really understand it either. When I was little, there was a strange period where I was much stronger than normal kids. But after I found out the people raising me were fake parents, that strange strength disappeared for no reason. It only came back just now. The black egg was pleasantly surprised. Ethan, so you were that strong when you were little? But Ethan said seriously. In the human world, standing out too much can get you destroyed. It's better to look a little dumb and make yourself seem less threatening. But the black egg didn't understand what he meant at all. Seeing D rush back into the room, Xuan couldn't help asking in confusion, "Why are you acting so reckless again?" The moment D saw the situation, he immediately realized he had been tricked. But Xuan suddenly asked, "Are you still sulking at me? Do you remember that day? You were also mad at me back then and ran off by yourself. I didn't even know you had prepared a birthday gift for me." It turned out that when D was young, while Xuan was fleeing with him, he secretly ran out to retrieve a gift he had spent half a month preparing for her. But what he didn't know was that people in the city were already hunting them down, and they had spotted him, secretly following him from behind. However, thanks to D's familiarity with the surroundings, he quickly noticed that he was being tracked. Just as little Gaga was about to chase after him, a figure suddenly flashed out. Xuan's long hair shot forward in an instant and pierced straight through his heart. After confirming that he was dead, she quickly shouted at D, "Stop messing around, they've already chased us here, we need to leave now." But Dai didn't stop. "I just need to grab one thing. It'll be quick. It's in my secret base." What the two of them didn't know was that bright red liquid suddenly seeped out of little Gaga's wound. Then, a tiny sprout quietly grew from it. Xuan had never expected D to have a secret base like this. She couldn't help asking curiously, "What did you hide here?" After taking the item out, D finally explained, "I know we have to leave right away, but I spent a long time preparing this gift." Looking at the jar D held carefully in his hands, Xuan froze. Then she couldn't help smiling brightly. "It's beautiful. You put glowstones inside, didn't you?" D became a little shy. "I was supposed to show it to you 2 days later." Xuan was so touched that she pulled him into her arms. "Thank you. Mother really loves this gift." Right then, Dai suddenly noticed something in surprise. There was moving blood stuck to Xuan's hair. Xuan's expression instantly changed. "This is bad. Our location may have been discovered. I heard the newly appointed Yagi is extremely skilled at tracking. He may even be able to use blood to find our position. We need to go." But D said confidently, "Mother, give me all the hair stained with blood. These caves are extremely complicated. I don't believe he can find us with that alone." Xuan never expected that her son had already grown this much. Young D confidently believed he could escape Yagui's tracking. But what he didn't know was that Yagui had already brought his giant subordinates near his secret base. After searching for a while, little Gaga successfully found the entrance to the secret base. The green-capped giant was the first to make a suggestion. "Lord Yagi, should I blast open a big hole for you? Or should I just collapse this place and bury them alive inside?" But Yagui shook his head. "No. I want them alive. Someone capable of killing the previous Yagui seems even more suitable for this ancient sphere than Ah Chuan." Then he showed an amused smile. "Let me properly meet you, sister-in-law." Half an hour later, little Gaga found D. But Dai didn't panic at all and continued running calmly. He even attacked little Gaga while escaping. His performance was impressive. But the purple-haired man dodged nimbly. Then, with a single leap, the purple-haired man pounced behind D. The moment he grabbed D, he smiled. "Looks like I'm still a step above you." But a smile appeared on D's face, and his body instantly began to fade away, leaving only one sentence behind. "Big brother, was that fun?" The purple-haired man was completely furious. "Damn it, I got tricked. I wonder if the one Master is dealing with is also a clone." At the same time, Xuan anxiously asked D, "How's the situation on your clone side?" Without turning back, D answered, "One of them took the bait, the other one is sharp and didn't follow. But it's fine. We still have 2 more clones behind us. If he catches up, I'll definitely know. I won't try to show off. You're really strong, Mother. But my new skill isn't weak either." Right then, a faint footstep suddenly caught Xuan's attention. The one who had tracked them down was Yagui. He had intended to block their path, but Xuan's hair suddenly grew wildly and stopped him. Then Xuan raised her head and snapped, "Stop hiding. Come out." D was shocked. "How? He actually avoided my clones and came after us from above?" After landing, Yagui said respectfully, "Sister-in-law, it's our first time meeting. I'm Dana, someone who once received Brother Chuan's kindness, and also the newly appointed administrator of the giant world. Yagui number 16. Xuan immediately snapped, "I don't know you, so stop calling me sister-in-law. D, go first. Leave this to me." But Dana chuckled. "No need to leave. I came here to discuss things peacefully." Xuan didn't believe him at all. "Peacefully? Stop lying. D, why haven't you left yet? Go." Hearing this, D stopped wasting words and immediately turned to run. Not long ago, Xuan had told him, "Mother is strong, I've never lost, so you must listen to me. When I fight, you cannot be there. You cannot become my weakness." And Dee had obediently agreed to that request. Although Dai was extremely worried right now, out of trust in his mother, he still decided not to become her burden. However, Dana didn't seem eager to attack. He still tried to step forward and negotiate with Xuan calmly, with no more worries holding her back. Xuan had no interest in wasting words. In an instant, her hair grew violently and attacked Dana. But Dana merely shifted sideways and dodged it with ease. But Xuan was a battle-hardened fighter, not someone to underestimate. Her long hair began growing wildly, lashing toward Dana in a relentless storm. Facing Xuan's storm-like attacks, Dana still spoke calmly. "Your combat power is indeed extraordinary, but it's time to dampen that arrogance." As soon as he finished speaking, the blood-red sprout on Dana's finger suddenly turned into liquid. Under Dana's control, the blood-red liquid shot out as a beam of crimson energy. The crimson beam was unbelievably fast. Xuan had no time to dodge and was blasted hard into the ground. Sensing the shockwaves from the battle, Dee was extremely worried, but he kept comforting himself. Mother is the strongest. Mother will win. Then, footsteps suddenly came from outside the stone cave. To Dai's surprise, the one who returned was his mother. His tense heart finally relaxed. "Mother, did you win?" But before he could be happy for long, he noticed a horrifying wound on his mother's thigh. Seeing how worried Dee was, Xuan quickly comforted him. "Child, I'm fine. I know you're worried about me, but I really am fine." Dee's face filled with pain as he said, "I'll become stronger in the future. Much, much stronger. So when you fight from now on, don't make me leave again, okay?" Hearing this, Xuan immediately crouched down. "When you grow up and can beat your mother, then I won't make you leave." Then, Dee quickly supported Xuan, and the two of them began fleeing again. Xuan patiently warned Dee, "I know it hasn't been easy for us to survive until now, and I know you hate Yagui. You also still can't accept that your father was once Yagi, but if your father hadn't given the ancient sphere to me when I was dying, neither I nor you in my belly would have survived. I never told you because you were still too young back then. I was afraid you'd keep asking questions and get dragged into this." But Dee said unhappily, "Weren't we dragged into this long ago? Otherwise we wouldn't have been hunted for more than 10 years. Xuan's expression turned serious. "They've been hunting us all this time. On the surface, it's to recover the ancient sphere on my back. But in reality, it's for this." After saying that, she took out a small cube-shaped box. Dee was stunned. "What's inside?" After hesitating for a moment, Xuan still told him the truth. "You know that when a substance called candy is planted into an egg-awakening membrane, it evolves. Inside this box is rare living sugar bone from the core area of the egg of life. You're stronger than me now. Your father's possession should be protected by you from now on. Only things from the core area can fight against that him. The path of becoming stronger may be the only way for us, no, for you, to escape your fate. I once thought about handing this thing over in exchange for your peaceful life. But the reality is, the open and hidden conflicts between Yagui have already pushed us to the edge of the blade. We have no choice. We can only keep fighting, then grow stronger and stronger." After hearing this, Dee finally understood the cause and effect. He couldn't stop himself from gripping the cube tightly. Then he placed it into the pouch at his waist. After that, he turned and walked out of the room saying, "It's getting late. Let's go find the silver flower. Then we'll smash this giant world to pieces." Seeing that Dee had finally regained his spirit, Ethan Foster let out a breath of relief. Over the next hour, they went to 3 different locations to search for the silver flower of the poisonous tree. But they still couldn't find any trace of it. The black egg was a little worried. "The smell of this egg coagulation paste is so strong. Can you really not smell it? If the giants follow the scent and find us, we'll be in trouble." But Dee didn't care at all. "It's fine. If I can't smell it, those guys definitely can't either." Just as they were preparing to return and head to the 4th location, they suddenly noticed movement from a giant rock. Dee reached into it without hesitation and searched around. A moment later, he pulled a massive deep blue tree root out from the crack in the stone. But Dai's expression turned ugly. "Damn it, it hasn't even grown a flower bud yet. It'll take at least half a year before it produces a silver flower." Hearing this, Ethan immediately relaxed. "Half a year? Then we can only wait. Let's raise it first." But Dee shook his head. "Half a year is too long. Mother's feet have already been badly corroded. She can't wait." Right then, the ground suddenly erupted with violent tremors. A massive hand burst out of the earth and grabbed toward Dee. Fortunately, Dee reacted extremely fast. He kicked off the ground and quickly pulled away from the giant hand. After landing, Dee finally saw the attackers clearly. It was a giant, and a mysterious man sitting on the giant's arm. The purple-haired man nodded with satisfaction. Not bad, not bad. Pan Luo using a flowerless poisonous tree as bait was the right choice. The giant Pan Luo quickly flattered him. You're the brilliant one, my lord. Giants can identify the smell of egg coagulation paste, then judge where they're going based on how strong the scent is. That's how we could prepare the bait ahead of time. D snorted coldly. Setting a trap for us? Sounds more like you're delivering yourselves to death. The purple-haired man only smiled with disdain. Little brat, after all these years, you're still just as arrogant. The moment he heard that, D remembered. You're that idiot from back then. Pan Luo immediately shouted angrily. You bug. How dare you disrespect Lord Yagui? Hearing this, D burst into laughter. That idiot became Yagui? No wonder Yagui are all so pathetic. Just like your master. Didn't he end up dying at my mother's hands? But the purple-haired man chuckled. Unfortunately, my master has a strong life. With me as his walking blood bank, how could he die so easily? You people were impressive. I'll give you that. Thanks to your mother, we were demoted and became trash in the eyes of the other Yagui. But now we've made our comeback, and I'll sharpen my blade on you first. Dai kept acting tough, but he still handed the poisonous tree to Ethan. Hold this for now, I'll cover you. You and Southeast, leave first. Ethan Foster and Southeast were immediately unhappy. You seriously need to stop acting tough at some point. But D shot back, this is how Mother and I survived. You don't drag down the strong. The purple-haired man was also getting impatient. Stop bickering. Letting two variant eggs leave this place won't be that easy. As soon as he finished speaking, the ground erupted with violent tremors again. Several giants burst out and surrounded them completely. Only then did the purple-haired man smile in satisfaction. Oh right. As for my master, I imagine he should be heading toward your mother, right about now. When that happens, I'm sure it'll be a wonderful reunion. D quickly steadied himself. Finding my mother won't be that easy. Don't tell me it's that blood tracking ability again. But the purple-haired man sneered. Blood tracking is secondary. What really matters is the important figure traveling with my master. His abilities are far beyond what ordinary people like us can imagine. Ethan's heart tightened when he heard that. The important figure he mentioned. Could that be the him Auntie Xuan was talking about? Thinking of this, Ethan quickly said, This is bad, D. We need to hurry back. This time we'll cover you. This time, D didn't refuse. He stopped the ground and instantly sprinted forward. As he ran, he also raised two fingers and gave a signal. Ethan and Southeast immediately looked at each other and understood what he meant. The moment Dai used his phantom clones to draw the purple-haired man's attention. Ethan and Southeast moved at the same time. Southeast dashed straight under one of the giants. Flames gathered in both his hands before he hurled them at the giant's face, where they exploded with a roar. Meanwhile, Ethan took the black egg and quietly slipped behind the giant. He quickly entered a partial transformation state and grabbed the giant's ankle with both hands. As Ethan activated his ability, arcs of purple lightning suddenly burst from his palms. Caught off guard, the giant was overwhelmed by intense paralysis and dropped to one knee. When the surrounding giants saw this, they quickly reached out, trying to capture Ethan, but Ethan calmly raised his hand. Then he used energy corrosion on the giant. The instant the corrosion was complete, Ethan immediately gave the order. Attack the other giants for me. Then Ethan quickly asked the black egg, If I adjust the control time to 5 minutes, how many more can I control? The black egg quickly explained, Because your childhood strength has returned, you can control 3 more. A bold idea suddenly rose in Ethan's mind. Wait. Since we've already controlled the poisonous tree, why can't we make it bloom right now? The black egg replied helplessly, If blooming isn't within its current ability range, then it can't be done. Right then, 3 giants suddenly charged at Ethan from different directions, trying to cut him off. They moved extremely fast and lunged toward Ethan's position without hesitation. This sudden change made D's expression shift sharply. Ethan, are you okay? Only then did the purple-haired man smile in satisfaction. Notice it now, brat? He's our real target. The moment D heard that, his expression turned serious. What are you trying to do? The purple-haired man replied casually. While we were tracking you, I unexpectedly found the drawing on the ground. That drawing actually marked the core zone of the Egg of Life. Even that important figure doesn't know where that zone is. Haha, I never expected to discover such top-secret information. So, brat, don't get in my way. But D used the opening created by his clone to charge forward, sneering, Sorry, but getting in your way is exactly what I like doing. The purple-haired man looked slightly surprised. A 5th clone? Then how many is your limit? The moment he finished speaking, Dee's expression changed before he could get far. He never expected to be trapped inside a giant net that suddenly appeared. Seeing this, the purple-haired man burst into laughter. This is the new ability granted to me by the ancient sphere, the sealed boundary space. To break it, you need energy that matches the ancient sphere. Dee immediately sneered. You're underestimating me way too much, idiot. But the purple-haired man looked smug. You're still counting on the 2 clones outside the sealed boundary, aren't you? Take a good look at their situation before you act tough, brat. My sword can also seal space, according to my will. Dee was subtly shocked. When did that sword leave his side? The purple-haired man finally explained with satisfaction. When you created your first clone. Your ability is good, sure, but once I know how it works, there are ways to trap you. At the same time, Southeast was anxiously rushing toward the giants. Fortunately, Ethan was fine. He suddenly erupted with purple lightning and dodged the giants surrounding him. Aside from a small injury on his forehead, he had no other serious wounds. But then, the blood from his forehead suddenly dripped onto the poisonous tree. Immediately, the poisonous tree began trembling violently. Then, at a speed visible to the naked eye, a flower bud grew from it, and a golden silver flower bloomed. Seeing this, Ethan quickly shouted. The poisonous tree bloomed. The moment he said that, everyone's attention was drawn over. Dee immediately turned and urged him. Ethan, well done. Please take the silver flower to my mother. Ethan nodded without hesitation. Don't worry, I'll make sure the silver flower reaches Auntie Xuan. Meanwhile, Dana was sitting on a giant and speaking to him. My lord, it seems giants are not suited to move from this point onward, and my blood tracking can only go this far. The important figure nodded and ordered. Dana, your ancient sphere ability still hasn't been developed to its limit. Forget it. Bring it here. As soon as he finished speaking, Dana signaled for one of his giant subordinates to bring out a massive skull. The important figure calmly picked up a spoon and scooped out a piece of brain matter. But the taste of the synthetic beast clearly displeased him. Seeing this, Dana quickly said, My apologies, my lord. I've made you suffer. After a while, the important figure put down the spoon. I saw the memories from before this fishman was synthesized. This woman named Xuan would be considered a beauty among humans. Then he suddenly showed an amused smile. His back began to creak violently, and 2 wings emerged from it. In an instant, the wings spread open, forming a pair of bat wings 3 meters long. Then he twisted his neck and smiled calmly. It's about time I stretched my body. Come, Dana. After saying that, he took Dana and rushed toward Xuan's location. Meanwhile, Ethan Foster was carrying the silver flower and flying at full speed with his butterfly wings. Although he had gotten much faster at controlling the wings, he still couldn't help asking the black egg, Can we go any faster? But the black egg replied helplessly, I've already boosted you with your own energy. This is the fastest we can go. Ethan immediately frowned. Damn it. Looks like it's impossible to arrive before that him. We need to think of a way to deal with him. Hearing this, the black egg quickly replied, Ethan, actually when we were in the ruins, I unconsciously scanned the place. I found a lot of hidden passage routes inside. I'll share them with your mind, and we can study them together. As soon as it finished speaking, many images appeared in Ethan's mind. Sure enough, there really were many hidden tunnels inside the ruins. After thinking for a moment, Ethan suddenly said excitedly, There are 2 hidden passages in Auntie Xuan's room. At the same time, Xuan was calling out in confusion. Xuaner? Xuaner? Strange. It's been so long. Why hasn't Juner come back yet? Right then, Menino suddenly broke through the door with an anxious expression. Xuan, this is bad. Xuan immediately asked in confusion. Menino, what happened? Did something happen to Dee and the others? But Menino shook her head. I didn't go with them. Dee was worried about you, so he told me to stay behind. Listen to me. The information vines I placed outside the ruins all lost signal at the same time just now. I'm certain someone has invaded. Anyone who can destroy my information vines instantly is definitely not simple. Then, Menino's expression suddenly changed, and she let out a cry of alarm. Xuan quickly asked with concern, What happened? Menino immediately explained in panic. The cocoons connected to me were just wiped out too. The intruder has already reached the entrance. Hearing this, Xuan thought to herself, So the one who is truly here to take my life has arrived. Then she decisively ordered, Menino, go notify everyone. Have them leave the ruins through the North Mountain path. Menino quickly turned around. Understood. I'll go and come right back. But the moment Menino stepped out of the room, a sharp snap suddenly rang out, and Menino stopped in shock. Then she began pounding on the door and shouted, Xuan, what are you doing? You sealed the doorway with your hair. Xuan said calmly, Menino, they're here for me. Lead everyone out of here. Hurry. But Menino didn't want to abandon her. No, Xuan, we're leaving together. There's still some distance from the entrance to here. But Xuan snapped in a serious voice. If you keep hesitating, more than a dozen lives will die here. Seeing how urgent the situation was, Menino could only make a choice. I understand. Once I get everyone settled, I'll come back. Please don't force yourself. After saying that, she ran quickly toward the others. At this moment, Xuan was strangely calm, without the slightest ripple on her face. Before long, Dana brought the important figure to the entrance of Xuan's room. With only one strike, the door Xuan had sealed with her hair was easily shattered. But Dana found that Xuan seemed to have already hidden herself. The important figure, however, didn't think so. Sure enough, the hair scattered across the ground suddenly shot toward the two of them, all at once, and Xuan, hiding under the bed, recognized him at a glance. But an attack of this level could not hurt the important figure at all. With a powerful flap of the wings on his back, he knocked away all the hair sweeping toward him. He even restrained Xuan with terrifying precision. Seeing her escape route sealed, Xuan immediately showed a terrified expression. She knew very well that in a direct fight against this man, she had no chance of winning. But right then, Ethan's voice suddenly entered her mind. Auntie Xuan, can you hear me? It's Ethan. I established a connection with you through the black egg and your ancient sphere. Don't be afraid. The black egg is right below you. Xuan immediately asked in confusion. Why did you come back? Is D here too? Ethan quickly explained. D ran into a small problem for now, but he's fine. He'll be here soon. He asked us to bring you the silver flower. Xuan quickly signaled for Ethan to leave. But Ethan replied firmly, I promised D I'd do this, so I'll see it through. You don't need to worry about me. Just do exactly what I say. Move 2 meters behind you, and meet up with the black egg. Hearing this, Xuan subconsciously turned to look back, and roughly located the black egg's position. Just as she was unsure how to move backward, a series of thuds suddenly came from the ceiling. The important figure heard it, and immediately smiled. Is there a little mouse above us? Then several bolts of purple lightning suddenly crashed down from the ceiling, but they were blocked by the wings behind him. He chuckled. A cheap trick. So you're above me? Wait, this aura. Taking advantage of that opening, Ethan quickly sent another message. Auntie Xuan, now. Move 2 meters back. Xuan was stunned. Ethan, why are you using yourself as bait? Ethan signaled for her not to worry. After you take the silver flower and detoxify yourself, leave through the hidden passage with the black egg. You know I have the ability to control others. Once I control him, I'll catch up with you soon. Xuan knew that no matter how she tried to persuade Ethan Foster, he would still do this. So she quickly replied, fine. After I detoxify, we'll fight side by side. Seeing that Xuan had finally agreed, Ethan let out a breath of relief. Dana wanted to volunteer to deal with Ethan, but the important figure stopped him. Dana, don't you feel it? That is the unique aura of ancestral class candy. Hearing this, Dana froze on the spot. The important figure said with great satisfaction, the information you gave me about the living rare candy. Were you talking about that little human up there? But Dana wasn't sure either. My apologies, my lord. I'm not entirely certain. The important figure didn't care. He flew straight toward Ethan. No matter, we'll know once I catch him and taste him. When Ethan saw the other party charging toward him, he quickly got up and decisively turned to run. But before he could get far, he realized the important figure had ignored the narrow space and forced his way inside. Ethan's battle form could still last for half an hour. He had to stall him as soon as possible, then use energy corrosion to escape. But he had no idea how long he could control this man. He could only hope it wasn't the few seconds the black egg feared. With that in mind, Ethan concentrated his power into his legs. As his energy erupted, his speed doubled, and he fled rapidly through the hidden passage. But the important figure's speed was also rising quickly. It's been a long time since I enjoyed the thrill of capturing prey alive. I'll have to control my strength carefully, so he doesn't die too soon. Meanwhile, the ignored Xuan took the opportunity to crawl with difficulty toward the black egg's location. Seeing that Xuan had gone quiet, Dana said with interest, why is sister-in-law hiding in the corner without a word? Do you still recognize me? But when he walked over to where Xuan had been hiding, he was stunned. He discovered that Xuan had somehow vanished from the room. Dana quickly crouched down to sense the area, then cried out, not good. There's a secret passage. After the black egg brought Xuan into the secret passage, it quickly handed her the silver flower to take. Seeing that Xuan's legs only felt slightly numb, the black egg said helplessly, was the dose not enough? We still have another one here. Xuan quickly shook her head and refused. No, 1 flower is enough. This one has to be saved for D. After a while, the black egg suddenly saw Xuan's legs shrinking rapidly at a visible speed. It immediately said in delight, "Look, look, it's working." At the same time, the important figure had already caught up to Ethan and slapped him across the face. But Ethan used the force of the slap to flip backward and quickly pull away again. After tasting the blood Ethan had splattered, the important figure said with satisfaction, "So that's it. Your blood is filled with the flavor of the black candy kafnu." Hearing this, Ethan immediately showed a stunned expression. Seeing that, the important figure smiled calmly. "That is the fruit of the oldest tree of life. In that case, you should be a descendant of the earliest mysterious race that lived inside the egg of life." Ethan grew more confused the more he listened. The earliest race that lived in the egg-shaped world? Wasn't this egg-shaped world built and controlled by you people? The important figure immediately laughed. "No, no, no. The egg of life is only a life-birth entity we accidentally seized. There are still many places here that we need to explore through you people. To us, the most valuable part of this life-birth entity is that it allowed us to discover those delicious existences that leave such a wonderful taste." Ethan instantly snapped, "Delicious existences? You're doing something disgusting." But the important figure didn't care at all. "Don't you humans do the same thing as us? You keep livestock in captivity for your own consumption. Fundamentally, what we do is no different." Ethan wanted to argue back, but what the other party said seemed to make some sense. Right then, the black egg's voice suddenly rang in his mind. "Ethan, Auntie Xuan has successfully detoxified. Her feet have returned to normal." Ethan immediately signaled for the black egg to follow the original plan and take Xuan away at once. But the black egg said Xuan refused to leave and wanted to fight with him. Ethan quickly replied to the black egg, "Tell Auntie Xuan that I've already escaped." But the black egg said helplessly, "If we can still talk, that means you're probably still within 300 meters. You can't lie." Ethan said firmly, "Black egg, Auntie Xuan and Dee have already reignited a hope in my heart. The hope that my real mother is still alive. That's why I want Auntie Xuan to be safe." The black egg could only reply helplessly, "I understand. I'll make her believe you've already gotten far away. Be careful." But after walking for a while, Xuan suddenly asked the little black egg in confusion, "The direction of this hidden passage is completely opposite from Ethan's side. Where is our planned meeting point?" The black egg quickly explained, "The hidden passages beneath this ruin are not as simple as you imagine. We're still 500 meters from the meeting point." But Swan suddenly stopped and said, "Little black egg, you really don't know how to lie. This may be an unknown hidden passage, but I've lived here for years. Tell me, has Ethan still not escaped?" The black egg had no choice but to tell the truth. "I don't know right now. We're no longer within 300 meters. Xuan immediately became anxious. "Little black egg, I know you're doing this for my sake, but Ethan cannot be put in danger because of me." Right then, a series of urgent cries for help suddenly came from outside the hidden passage. Xuan didn't have time to think and quickly rushed toward the source of the sound. When she looked out from the hidden passage exit, she saw that the fleeing men and women had been captured. After seeing the monsters responsible, Xuan's expression changed. "I once heard my husband say that he could separate organs from memories. I think they were called embedded eyeballs." Xuan decisively made her hair grow. Then she controlled her long hair and smashed it wildly toward the embedded eyeballs. But those embedded eyeballs completely dodged Xuan's attacks. Seeing that this wouldn't work, Xuan decisively jumped down. Then she quickly asked the others, "What happened? Were you following Menino to leave through the North Mountain Path?" The woman said helplessly, "The exits of the North Mountain Path were all blocked by these monsters. There are too many of them. Menino can't handle them all." Xuan was stunned. "Only a few of us inside know about the exits of the North Mountain Path. How did he know? And he even prepared in advance." Right then, Dana suddenly walked out from behind Xuan. "That's because my lord ate the head of your important companion. Then I gave him advice and had everything prepared ahead of time." The moment Xuan saw Dana, she became furious. "It's you. Are you here to avenge your old humiliation?" But Dana shook his head. "No, no, no. I'm here to make a deal." Hearing this, Xuan was instantly confused. "A deal?" Dana explained with a serious expression. "I don't quite believe you used the living rare candy on a human. I'm talking about that dark energy-filled guy." Xuan immediately understood what Dana meant. Does he think Ethan's energy comes from living candy? No wonder that important figure is chasing him so relentlessly. Seeing Xuan remain silent, Dana spoke again. "My lord is very interested in that boy, but I know that isn't the truth, right?" Xuan didn't answer. She asked directly, "What exactly do you want?" Dana's expression became even more solemn. "Share the living rare candy, find the location of the core area, and then work together to deal with him." Xuan looked at him with suspicion. "Deal with him? Did I hear that right?" Dana said in a deep voice, We support them in managing edible livestock. But don't assume Yagui can't become his food too. Xuan snorted coldly. I won't fall for it. You're all on the same side. Dana suddenly touched his head and said angrily, the first time I hunted you down, I was indeed risking my life for him. But do you know what happened after that hunt failed? He ate half of my brain. From that moment on, my thoughts completely changed. Xuan's expression shifted. Are you telling the truth? You dare say that in front of the embedded eyeballs? Aren't you afraid he'll know? Those embedded eyeballs are his direct organs. But Dana remained calm. Embedded eyeballs don't have hearing. They can't hear our conversation. But right then, the important figure's voice suddenly rang out behind Dana. Indeed, my eyeballs do have that flaw. But Dana, what you don't know is that I finished playing with that boy a while ago. Then he suddenly snapped his fingers. An invisible blade instantly sliced through the air and killed Dana on the spot. Then he let out a cold laugh. Don't you humans have a phrase called biting the hand that feeds you? It suits him perfectly. Xuan immediately grew anxious. Let Ethan go. If you want the bone sphere, come after me. Hearing this, the important figure smiled with disdain. You think I went through all this trouble just for a mere bone sphere? Xuan immediately realized his true intention. So it really is for the living rare candy. Let Ethan go first. Then you can question me? Or do whatever else you want. But the important figure said coldly, I'm already bored. Interrogation is far too troublesome. Isn't it easier to read directly? Xuan's eyes widened. Read directly? What does that mean? He tapped his own head with a finger and sneered. It means prying open your skull and eating the delicious brain matter inside. Seeing Xuan's face change in shock, he immediately licked his lips. A brain that can use goo insects to their limit should taste quite good. After saying that, he stepped forward and charged towards Xuan. The black egg had no idea what to do and quickly sent a message. What do we do? Ethan, wake up. Can you hear me? But Ethan seemed to have lost consciousness and could not respond at all. The important figure had also lost interest in Ethan and casually threw him aside. Seeing this, Xuan quickly asked the black egg if Ethan was okay. The black egg guessed Ethan is still in his battle state, so he should only be unconscious. His life isn't in danger. Hearing this, Xuan finally felt slightly relieved. Good. Find a chance to take him away. After saying that, Xuan rushed forward, wildly forcing her hair to grow and lash out again and again. But attacks of that level landed on the important figure like mere scratches. They had no effect at all. Then he flashed in front of Xuan and raised his hand, grabbing her directly. Although Xuan kept controlling her hair to break free, it did nothing. Seeing that this couldn't go on, the black egg quickly made a move, trying to help Xuan escape. But the important figure didn't dodge at all. He even sneered. The bone sphere's stress reaction will make the brain matter sour. Fine, I'll remove the bone sphere first. Don't panic. The moment I pull out the bone sphere, I'll pry open your skull at the same time. The pain should only last about 10 seconds. Seeing that she had no way to escape, Xuan closed her eyes in despair. Mother is leaving now. You must live well. But at that critical moment, the unconscious Ethan suddenly sprang up and grabbed the important figure's giant hand. Seeing that Ethan could still get in his way, the important figure smiled with interest. Interesting. You're being annoying. As soon as he finished speaking, the strange wings behind him suddenly stretched out and grabbed Ethan's body, trying to drag him back. But even against such overwhelming force, Ethan still held tightly onto his hand. But he only lasted for a moment before the wings grabbed him and smashed him violently into the ground, creating pit after pit. Seeing this, the black egg immediately wanted to rush over and help. Xuan quickly shouted, "Forget about me, run." After being smashed again and again, Ethan finally collapsed to the ground without moving. Only then did the important figure look back at Xuan with satisfaction. Oh, I may have hit him a little too hard. Whatever. Let's continue. But to his surprise, Ethan forced himself to stand again. Then he dashed forward in an instant, dodging all the wing attacks. And once again, he tightly grabbed the important figure's wrist. Zuen's expression became complicated. Ethan, enough. Run. But Ethan shouted firmly, "No, I can't let anything happen to you." His heart was filled with anxiety. Energy corrosion. Hurry up and take effect. Please. Ethan's stubborn resistance completely enraged the important figure. So annoying. I was going to keep you alive, but now there's no need. As soon as he finished speaking, the wings behind him formed a spiral spike and pierced straight through Ethan's body. Seeing this, Xuan froze on the spot, as if struck by lightning. The black egg also let out a piercing scream. The important figure impatiently threw Ethan aside. Seeing that no one was in his way anymore, he immediately turned Xuan sideways. Then, he sliced open the area along her spine. Xuan let out a cry of agony as the bones of her spine were forcibly pulled out of her body. The moment that bone left Xuan's body, it began twisting strangely in midair, constantly coiling and warping. Finally, it tangled together and formed a large pink bone sphere. After dealing with Ethan, he extracted the bone sphere from Xuan's body. Next, he prepared to scoop out Xuan's brain matter, but unexpectedly, he suddenly realized his hand was no longer under his control. He was confused and had no idea what was happening, but he quickly reacted. Was this done by that boy? Then his hand uncontrollably grabbed himself. He immediately grew furious. You think this tiny bit of energy can control my body? Aunt Dana, who had been killed in one strike earlier, suddenly stood up and said, Long Eye, I never thought you'd be played in circles by a child. How ironic. Hearing his real name, Long Eye was instantly shocked. That voice, it's you, Manhwa? Manhwa sounded somewhat surprised. How long has it been since we last met? More than a year since you stole credit in front of the king and framed me, right? Long A snorted coldly. Manhwa, you really are petty. Are you trying to defy your superior now? Playing dirty with me? Seeing him try to pin a crime on him, Manhwa quickly spoke again. Monai, I'm helping you. My new ability is called Punishment Anchor. It allows me to plant a listening instrument on a potential criminal. Everything he hears and sees, I experience as if I'm there myself. But Long Eye sneered. Punishment Anchor? Another useless ability. Manhwa, hurry up and accept your punishment. Manhwa suddenly asked back. Aren't you the one who should be punished? And you still have the nerve to act innocent? The king once ordered that all information related to rare candy must be reported. No one is allowed to investigate or capture it privately. Long Eye, you have committed the crime of private investigation. Long A immediately defended himself guiltily. Private investigation, didn't you see? I was only recovering the bone sphere. Manhwa snorted without mercy. Weren't you just about to pry open this woman's skull and obtain information about the candy? While the two were confronting each other, Ethan, who had recovered some strength, quickly took the chance to snatch Xuan back. Then he immediately ran with Xuan and escaped. Seeing that Long Eye didn't move, Manhwa mocked him. Why aren't you chasing him? Didn't you want to read him? Or do you want me to obtain the evidence and personally hand it to the king? This time, Long Eye finally lost his composure. What exactly do you want? Manhwa finally revealed his true goal. I want you to hand over jurisdiction of the giant world to me. The moment he said that, Long Eye froze. Meanwhile, Ethan was fleeing for his life with Xuan. He kept shouting anxiously, Auntie Xuan, how are you? Hearing him, Xuan forced herself to respond. Ethan, don't cry. My fate was decided long ago. It can't be changed. But Ethan said firmly, no, you won't die. Xuan only shook her head gently. Ethan, everyone dies eventually. It's only a matter of time. The one I can't stop worrying about is Dai. I'm afraid he'll try to avenge me. Ethan, I'm begging you, promise me you'll stop Dai. If he rushes to take revenge now, he'll only die. But Ethan interrupted her. Auntie, stop talking. Rest first. I won't promise that. You have to tell him yourself. Xuan said weakly, I don't know if I can last long enough to see D. Seeing Xuan suddenly pass out, Ethan immediately shouted, you can. You definitely can. At the same time, D had also rushed back near the base, but he was confused. What the hell are these things? They even know about the secret exits of North Mountain? Southeast also felt a headache coming on. These things are too strange, we can't even kill them. But then, he suddenly noticed something. Those strange things actually ran away all at once. Seeing this, D quickly chased after them. Something's wrong. There isn't a single person here. Are Mother and the others trapped inside? Dai couldn't stop himself from worrying. Mother, please be okay. Seeing that Dai was about to lose his reason, Southeast quickly advised him, wait, don't be reckless. But D only cared about Xuan's safety and couldn't hear him at all. Meanwhile, Ethan also quickened his pace toward the exit. As he ran, he shouted, Auntie, hold on. We're almost at the exit. Hold on. You'll see Dai very soon. Right then, the black egg suddenly warned him. Ethan, stop speeding up, stop. Did you sense that just now? Hearing this, Ethan quickly stopped. Then he replied, I sensed it. It's just like when we were searching for the silver flower. The thing in D's waist pouch is resonating with us. Based on the direction of the signal, D is probably right above us. On the other side, Manhwa, who had suddenly appeared, demanded that Long Eye hand over jurisdiction of the giant world. Long Eye immediately understood. You want me to recommend you before the king to take over this place? Manhwa answered directly. Among the 3 worlds under your jurisdiction, the giant world is the one you care about the least, isn't it? Not only has it failed to provide food for the king and the others, it also contains lethal egg honey. But Long Eye wasn't stupid either. So, why do you want this worthless dump? Manhwa clearly had no intention of telling him. Stop being a question machine. You only need to make a decision. Will you recommend me to take over this place, or will you accept punishment for your crime? If you lower your head to me, at least you can keep jurisdiction over the other 2 worlds. But if you're punished, you'll lose all 3. Think carefully. After saying that, Manhwa secretly sneered. Long Eye, originally, I wanted to make sure you could never recover from this. But another one of your wonderful subordinates helped me discover astonishing information. That drawing actually marked the core zone of the Egg of Life. The king never clearly explained why he values the core zone so much, but I know there must be something inside it powerful enough to shake the entire royal clan. Now that the entrance is hidden somewhere in the giant world, do you really think I'd still cling to something as small-minded as revenge? Long Eye, just watch closely. You'll see who the final winner really is. Meanwhile, D was anxiously rushing towards Xuan's residence. But at that moment, the box in his backpack suddenly reacted. However, he was completely focused on whether Xuan was safe, and didn't notice it at all. Just as he was about to move farther away, the ground suddenly made a series of thudding sounds. Then the floor exploded open. After seeing the figures inside the smoke, D and Southeast both froze. Ethan Foster was the first to shout, "D, I finally found you." And when Dai saw his mother lying weakly in Ethan's arms, his entire body immediately began trembling uncontrollably. Then he rushed forward in panic. "Mother, what happened to my mother?" Ethan quickly handed Xuan over and said in a heavy voice, "Auntie Xuan had her bone sphere extracted." Xuan woke up at that moment. "D, thank goodness. Before mother leaves, I still get to see you one more time. Do you remember the birthday gift you secretly prepared for me when you were little? Back then, mother felt like the happiest person in the world. D, can you carry mother on your back?" The moment he heard this, tears streamed down Dai's face, and memories of the past flooded his mind. Then D carried Xuan on his back and walked toward the outside of the base. "Mother, I'm sorry, I never fulfilled our promise." But Xuan shook her head. "Silly child. Didn't we agree that when mother got old, you would carry me on your back and take me traveling? Mother isn't even old yet." Hearing this, D quickly replied, "Mother, we'll go eat your favorite Tucson jelly and braised chicken later. We'll go to the flower fields of Spirit Mountain too. They have the snow velvet flowers you love, and the hot springs in Nanshin." But before he could finish speaking, Xuan's body suddenly went limp. At that moment, D completely broke down and let out a heartbreaking cry. "Mother, don't leave me." After burying Xuan, D swore silently, "Mother, I will avenge you. I'll tear that bastard into pieces. You once told me that only things from the core zone can deal with him. I will find the core zone, grow stronger, and avenge you. Before that, Ethan risked his life to bring you out so I could see you one last time. I have to repay that debt first. I'll safely escort them to Kalea City, then begin my revenge. Mother, rest in peace." After that, D suddenly stood up and turned around. "Let's go. I'll take you to Kalea City." 2 hours later, a giant suddenly arrived in front of Xuan's grave. Then, his body began shrinking and transforming rapidly. Soon, he returned to the size of an ordinary adult. Then, he crouched down and murmured, "Forgive me." After digging open Xuan's coffin, he carefully began copying Xuan's brain. In only a short moment, the copy was complete. The mysterious man carefully lifted it up. Then he placed it onto his empty face. Right after that, a strange glow emerged from his body, and he eerily transformed into Xuan's appearance. Then the mysterious man arrived at the place where Dana had been killed. The moment he picked up Dana immediately said unhappily, "Why did you take so long? I did everything you told me to do. When will I finally get to meet Yagui number 0? Aren't you anxious at all? The reset countdown of the Egg of Life has already begun. When the time comes, every living creature inside will die. You and I will die too. We have to find the exit quickly." But the mysterious man said coldly, "What's the rush? Do you think Master is someone you can meet just because you want to? You need to understand that everything we're doing now is preparation for finding the exit. Master's test for Ethan Foster will determine whether we can leave the Egg of Life alive." Dana frowned. "Is testing that boy really useful?" the mysterious man asked in return. "Wasn't this test better than expected?" The core zone, which had no information at all before, has now produced new clues through them. Do you know this? The core zone is equivalent to the control room of the Egg of Life. It can directly shut down its reset mode.